about a new start every day. A new step towards progress. To become what we imagined. And to make the dreams a reality. Now, it's time to begin with a new address of life and become a proud owner of a modern lifestyle. A landmark development in the growing eastern part of Pune that promises swift access to Kharadi, Viman Nagar, Pune Airport, Magarpatta City and Kalyani Nagar. You also stay at your comfort with all day-to-day conveniences like major hospitals, schools, petrol pumps and banks close to your home. What adds to your advantage are the proposed developments such as the under-construction 6-lane Nagar Road linking Wagholi to Eon IT Park, proposed ring road from Ambegaon to Wagholi, proposed 4-lane flyover linking Wagholi to Shikrapur, and proposed 36-meter wide DP road, which offers growth and a bright future. Welcome to Citron Phase 2 at Wagholi. 1 and 2 BHK apartments. Experience a fine mix of lifestyle, space, comfort and quality with your home. Part of the Citron Phase 1, a happy community of 130 plus happy families. The project offers ready infrastructure and amenities. Spread over 5 acres, 15-story L-shaped towers offer 1 and 2 BHK apartments and wide open spaces. Homes that not just take care of functionality but also offer vibrancy, peace and freshness in living. Your life here is imagined through a fine mix of lifestyle features like ready clubhouse, swimming pool, modern gymnasium, multi-purpose court, senior citizen sit-outs, children's play area and community hall. It's a world that promises more than you ever imagined. Growing in parallel to the recent developments, celebrates the modernity of future and the happiness of a perfect opportunity. An address to begin your journey towards fulfillment and become part of a success story. A joint development by Manisha Constructions and Vascon. Life is all about a new start every day. A new step towards progress. To become what we imagined. And to make the dreams a reality. Now, it's time to begin with a new address of life and become a proud owner of a modern lifestyle. A landmark development in the growing eastern part of Pune that promises swift access to Kharadi, Viman Nagar, Pune Airport, Magarpatta City and Kalyani Nagar. You also stay at your comfort with all day-to-day conveniences like major hospitals, schools, petrol pumps and banks close to your home. What adds to your advantage are the proposed developments such as the under construction 6-lane Nagar Road, linking Wagholi to Eon IT Park. Proposed ring road from Ambegaon to Wagholi. Proposed 4-lane flyover linking Wagholi to Shikrapur. And proposed 36-meter wide BP road, which offers growth and a bright future. Welcome to Citron Phase 2 at Wagholi. 1 and 2 BHK apartments. Experience a fine mix of lifestyle, space, comfort and quality with your home. Part of the Citron Phase 1, a happy community of 130 plus happy families. The project offers ready infrastructure and amenities. Spread over 5 acres, 15-story L-shaped towers offer 1 and 2 BHK apartments and wide open spaces. Homes that not just take care of functionality but also offer vibrancy, peace and freshness in living. Your life here is imagined through a fine mix of lifestyle features like ready clubhouse, swimming pool, modern gymnasium, multi-purpose court, senior citizen sit-outs, children's play area and community hall. It's a world that promises more than you ever imagined. Growing in parallel to the recent developments, celebrates the modernity of future and the happiness of a perfect opportunity. An address to begin your journey towards fulfillment and become part of a success story. A joint development by Manisha Constructions and Vascon.
Of the Billiards Men's Senior. On table 2, I'd like to introduce our players. We have Brijesh Damani, the Asian Games silver medalist, and his challenger is Mr. Dhwaj Haria, a bronze medalist in the world and a silver in the nationals. Our referee for today on table 2 is Viresh. On table 1, we have the finals. It's been contended by the national, Asian and world champion, Mr. Saurav Kothari. He is also an Arjuna awardee. And his challenger today is Mr. Pankaj Advani, a 23-time world champion, Padma Bhushan, Padma Shri and Khel Ratna awardee. All the best. We have Mr. Prakash Malhotra as the chief referee for the event. All the best, and we are live. All the best. A very warm welcome to all the viewers today. We have Saurav and Pankaj on TV table. They've gone live. This is the Manisha Vascon Nationals 2020. This is the Billiards senior event.
Pankaj, too.
As I mentioned earlier, we have Saurav Kothari, a Padma Bhushan, Padma Shri, Bharat Khel Ratna, Rajiv Gandhi Bharat Khel Ratna winner, and his challenger today is Saurav Kothari. He is the National Asian and world title holder, also an Arjuna awardee. We have quite a battle to look forward to for the coveted national title. Also, we have our dear friend Nishad joining us in the commentary box. Welcome, Nishad.
Thank you, Rishabh. It's an honor to be here today to commentate this clash of the titles between world champions Pankaj and Saurav. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this encounter. I believe Saurav has been posing a bit of a huge threat to Pankaj and he's been winning in the last few encounters that he's faced Pankaj. So I expect a really tough match today.
Of course, Nishad, we have Saurav, who's beaten Pankaj in the long format as well as the short format. So I'm sure this is going to be in Pankaj's, I'm not sure in the head, but I'm sure in the back of his mind that he has to be at his optimum best to win this title again. And it's going to be fun seeing both of them battle it out today.
Yeah, and as we speak, the first opportunity on the table goes to Pankaj, and his still balls are not ideally placed for him to make any big breaks or sizable contribution. But the Pankaj that we know is usually quick to pounce upon any opportunity and usually converts the first frame into a huge break. So let's see if he's able to do that from this position.
Do you think he has the in-off there? No, it seems like he's played a safety shot. Quite unconventional to leave the cue ball, Saurav's cue ball, and on that side, because I think he has a in-off. Obviously, it has to be a forced one, but with the table conditions, it's a decent chance for him to get it. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely, and I think Saurav is going for it. So let's see if he is able to get it. It's a tough shot though.
He misses and doesn't get lucky as well. It'll be important to see if that red bounces off the cushion, but not really.
I think Saurav has been a bit lucky there. I don't think he's left anything very easy on for Pankaj. So he might have a forcing enough off the white, but still not an easy shot.
I think any shot off the cushion is never easy. It has a lot of challenges in terms of cueing and never easy to execute the way you can.
And clearly Pankaj refusing to go for the tough shot and has opted for the safer option.
I like your views on our second match, which is Dhwaj Haria versus Brijesh. I believe Brijesh has been in this situation earlier, and even Dhwaj as well. In fact, Dhwaj has unfortunately lost two consecutive finals in 2018 and 2019. And he's now again back in the semis. Was in the semis, trying to get himself into the finals, but faltered a bit. What do you think of the third and fourth place match?
I think it's always very hard to motivate yourself as a losing semi-finalist to play for a third, fourth match, regardless of who you are. But obviously, a lot is at stake in terms of qualification for the IBSF events.
That's
on
right.
How you're placed. So I'm sure Dhwaj would want to finish third, and I would say Dhwaj is a slight favourite given the format of the tournament. Brijesh more predominantly a snooker player, and Dhwaj being a billiard player. I would favour Dhwaj slightly, but you never know about Brijesh. In a shorter format, he can be equally dangerous.
I think you've said that. Brijesh, I've seen their match actually in Indore, which is the last nationals. Brijesh was leading 3-0 or 3-1, and Dhwaj actually made a comeback from there and won that match 4-3. So I'm sure Brijesh also has that in the back of his mind, but I think Brijesh has a very deceptive game. He's more of a snooker player, but he's able to play billiards at a good level, and clearly being in the third and fourth position of the nationals, he's proven to everyone that given a chance, he's second to none in terms of execution of billiards or snooker. So it'll be interesting to see him contest the third place.
No, absolutely, and I think he also has the advantage of the format. I would give him slightly lesser chance if it was a time format, but being a point format and a best of 7, I'm sure he'll pose a huge threat to watch.
Definitely, definitely. To all our viewers, this is a short format. A short format, what we call, is a best of 9, which is going on right now. We've seen a best of 5, then a best of 7, and a best of 9. This is actually the short format where after you reach a certain target, which is 100 up or 150 up, you have to again start from scratch. So this is the short format. And then we also have a long format, which is a timed game. Back in the days, there used to be a 4-hour timed format when you had the greats like Michael Ferreira and Subhash Agarwal and Geet Sethi, Mr. Ashok Chandelier, Devendra Joshi, all play the long format. 4-hour games, 2 hours each session with a break, and we would get to see some nice big breaks. And what has interestingly happened is just in the attempt to include a lot more countries and a lot more players, the short format has been introduced, because there was only a bunch of players who could play the long format and who could last in that format, because you needed utmost amount of patience, because you have one opponent who's hitting a break of 300 and 400 and the other guy is just sitting there idle. So it's a lot of composure and commitment that one needs to play the long format. And I think to make this game of billiards more popular, they've introduced the short format. It also, I think, gives a lot of chance to the snooker players to also try their hands on this format, because people do get away with potting as well. But at some point in time, I would like to see the short format and the long format both introduced in the nationals, because that's a different ball game altogether. That's where the class of billiards truly comes out, and you see the double centuries and the triple centuries. And Pune itself, we are in the PYC Hindu Gymkhana, where in 2010 we witnessed Mike Russell hit that mammoth break of 1100 odd points. So that's the excitement that I think the viewers would like to see, having those big breaks. And it actually will bring the old players back into action, purely because they excel so much in the long format that they would want to come back. And that would be exciting for all of us to see the greats come back on the table and give it a shot once again. What do you think about the short format?
No, very rightly said, Rishabh. As a huge billiards fan myself, I have always enjoyed the time format. It's more of a purist, and people who really love the game enjoy the time format. It's kind of like, I don't know, to give our viewers an analogy, I would say, it's kind of like a test match, and this format is kind of like one-day cricket. But I personally enjoy both formats, because in the point format, you sort of have to be on your game all the time, and especially when two players of this quality like Pankaj and Saurav are playing against each other, even if someone misses a shot on 149, and even if they need 1 point and the other person needs 150, they can still clinch the frame in one visit, and that's what makes this format very exciting.
Very exciting and very lethal as well, because there are some good players who can bow out purely with the skill of potting. And one such player I do remember is Yasin Merchant. Extremely good in snooker. He's been in the pro circuit and has taken India's name higher. A twice Asian champion himself. And I've seen him play the long format as well. I don't recollect his opponent, but I do remember that he beat a billiard player in a long format of 4 hours. Nothing to take away from Mr. Yasin Merchant. He is an exponent of billiards as well. He can play this game as well, but obviously he relies more on his potting skills, and he relies a lot on the potting skills when he's in trouble, and especially when he needs to finish the game. All he's doing is potting off the spot, going back to the center of the table, coming back. And that's something which is also very interesting and exciting as a billiard player, to see the control that he had and the kind of control he executed on the table just with the red ball. It's fantastic. And it would be lovely to see Yasin Merchant also try and pick up his cue and play the billiard format as well. It's always exciting to see him play. A fantastic gentleman on and off the table.
No, of course, very rightly said. I'm a huge fan of Yasin Merchant myself, and it would be great to see him back on the table. And even, the likes of Geet Sethi and Ashok Chandilya and Devendra Joshi and all the other names that you mentioned. Coming back to our match here, both players seem to be playing a bit safe, and the score is right now 11-all. And clearly, none of them wants to give the initial opening, even if it's a best-of-9 encounter. Usually in big matches like these, whoever gets the first chance usually tends to get the psychological edge. And let's see who is able to convert an opportunity and score heavily.
Nisha, do you think the kind of play that we've seen up till now, both of them playing a little safe and not going for their shots as they generally do, it's not that they have the opening and they're not going for it, it's just that the opening is more of a 50-50 chance. Do you think they're slightly tentative, or they're just pacing themselves up for the finale?
I think it's a bit of everything, to be honest. I think it's a bit of nerves. I think it's the occasion, and also, I think these players have played each other quite a lot, and I think their head-to-head is pretty similar, and both of them have psychological battles going on, and they're just trying to play it safe and get the initial edge, because whoever gets the initial edge in these sort of matches tends to more often than not win the match. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens. And just as we said that, Pankaj took on a 50-50 chance of a pot and he missed it and left Saurav on with an opportunity. I would say this is the first real opportunity that anyone has got in this frame, and let's see if Saurav is able to convert this and score quite a few points and put Pankaj under pressure.
Seven. Saurav, 7.
As we see that safety play is back again, it was unfortunate for Saurav to have potted Pankaj's cue ball. Otherwise, we could have seen a break being built up. And now Pankaj playing the tactical game. I'm quite surprised that he's left his cue ball not on the cushion but in the center. That actually gives Saurav a chance to pot the yellow and get back into safety mode.
Yeah, definitely, because also it's a shot to nothing. If he just rolls the yellow to the right hand side top corner pocket, he can leave his ball on the left hand side corner, left hand side cushion, and even if he misses, he won't leave much on for Pankaj unless really he plays it really badly.
Exactly as what you said. I think Saurav just went and checked the angle that if he leaves his ball anywhere in the balk near the cushion, does he actually have an easy red pot there? And his next shot will actually show us what he's thinking.
I think he's going to probably slow roll it, as we discussed, and leave his ball on the cushion.
Oh,
he went for the cannon, and that's an excellent shot.
That's an excellent shot by
2.
And he's actually got some roll as well, because some luck as well, because his cue ball cannoned the yellow and kept it out. Otherwise it was heading for the balk line.
And deservedly so. He really went for his opportunity, and he got a little bit of an edge with the luck,
5.
but I think it was well deserved because of the shot he attempted.
That's right. It seems that the red ball is yet in the balk area, and we'll probably have to pull it. I think that's what he's going to attempt now.
Definitely.
He's going to try and go for top table position, I believe. He's going to go 1, 2, and probably 3 cushion, sending the yellow back to the top table, and he's going to try and get a fuller contact on the red so he gets an easy pot.
Absolutely, and I think the more important aspect is the full ball contact on the red. I think that's what is more important, since he can leave a shot on the red, and I think he played it exceptionally well.
He's done well for himself there. He's sent that yellow towards the top of the table. Many of us refer that to as the magic box, and I mean the area which is right near the red spot, we call that the magic box.
And with that, he played a pot, and he's back in a really good position at the top of the table. And I believe the red just goes past the yellow, so he can just follow through, pot the red ball, and leave himself for a mini drop cannon of the yellow.
Thirteen. 15. 18.
'So as you see, Nishad, we've got Saurav now taking the first chance, taking the first risk, and now he's been well rewarded
23.
and has come to the business end of the table, and something which he's very comfortable playing, which is the top table. We'll have to now see if he can build this into an unfinished. We've seen many an unfinished breaks
26.
over these past couple of days. Pankaj showing us 4 of them, and Saurav also showing us a couple of them in the quarters and the semis. So it'll be interesting to see him now finish this frame, get that psychological edge over Pankaj,
29.
and it'll be interesting to see Pankaj fight back.
No, of course, absolutely. And, I think it's essential for Saurav to win this frame in one
31.
visit, or at the most 2, because it will really set a high standard to this match in the first frame. And I'm sure Pankaj, the champion that he is, will raise his game, and we'll see an exciting final.
And we're just hoping for something like that, something for an exciting final. We don't want to see the whitewash that we saw yesterday in both the semis. Both of them went one way, both of them 5-0 each. We'd like that little battle between the two, and everybody likes the underdog. In this case, I don't think we have an underdog, but what we have is just 2 challengers, 2 champions,
39.
2 national champions, 2 world title holders fighting for the national championships. So I think it's just going to be exciting seeing both of them fight it out.
No, absolutely.
41.
And, I think Saurav is really making sure he's taking a bit of an extra second for every shot, and you can see the determination in his approach. He really wants to win this frame in this visit, and he's ideally placed to do so. An excellent shot there. He controlled all the 3
43.
balls, and I think he can see the red. I'm not sure if we can see well from the camera angle, but he's
45. 48. 50.
That is unfortunate, that ball
53.
dropping in. Saurav actually would have liked that ball to hang on the pocket, the mount of the pocket. But he seems to be in a commanding position right now. He'll have to slightly vary the top table now,
55.
and we'll have to rework on bringing the yellow ball back into play. So it's going to be interesting. But as you said rightly, Nishad, Saurav is taking his time. He's taking that little extra second to just be sure of what he's doing and trying to be in control. This actually gets me to another point that you've made, that it's so important to know how the balls are going to react after they've been hit. There are many who actually hit the ball and then realize that, oh, I shouldn't have screwed it that much, I shouldn't have followed it that much, because a slight change, the slight change in the angles or the roll just changes the overall shot, because I think half a roll more and you don't have an enough, and that's the kind of precision that we need in this game. What do you think about the position play that Saurav and Pankaj have exhibited in these past matches?
No, this is truly a game of not for mere mortals like us. It's a game of inches, but for them, it's a game of centimeters, and
maybe millimeters.
Even millimeters, yes, especially on top table. And as I said, most of the amateur billiard players, or good club level players, try to control one ball. Most of the good players try to control two balls, but in case of people like Saurav and Pankaj, they are trying to control all the three balls, and that's what makes them different. And we have seen great exhibition of top table play from both of these players, and we have seen all variants. We have seen reverse top table, we have seen the postman's knock, we have seen floating white, we've also seen all around billiards play from both of these players. So in many ways, this is the perfect final, and I would say well deservedly so.
66.
Looking at the way how these players have played in this tournament, they have I think they are the players who have lost probably the least amount of frames.
That's right, Nishad. They
And,
both have lost just one frame in their matches
68.
all the way to the final,
So that goes to show
how consistent they've been over a period of time.
and they've been playing at a very high standard.
course.
Again, Saurav, even if he was slightly out of position, he took an extra second and just making sure that he's not going to
71.
give even an inch to Pankaj. He definitely doesn't want him back on the table.
That's right.
And wants to finish this frame. So you can clearly see he's taking that extra second, and rightly so. With an opponent like Pankaj Advani, who's won so much, you want to get that first chance, and you want to win that the first frame in one visit, and set the tone for the match.
As we see Saurav now, he's lining up for a drop cannon. He would have actually liked the red to hang on the mouth, but it went slightly into the cushion,
73.
and that's the reason why he had to go for the cannon. He's played that pretty well. With a double kiss on the red, it's come back for an easy pot, and it'll be now interesting to see how he actually
76.
develops the yellow back into the build-up that he wants for the drop cannon.
Yes.
And this is, I think, his opportunity now.
Yeah, I think he played that and left himself for an off of the yellow,
79.
and now he's going to play that so that he can leave himself for a drop cannon and then come back to top table. I think he played it pretty well there. He might have run just a bit much, but he still has a drop
81.
cannon with a
That's
thicker
right.
contact, and he can come back.
That's right. It'll be
In
interesting
prime
to see if
position.
he actually goes for the drop cannon or takes one more in off, and builds the drop cannon. But as we see, he's played the drop cannon,
83.
not to his liking though.
Not to his liking, no, definitely.
He may have a follow cannon available right now.
But in that process, he's going to have to redevelop the position, and that's fine. And that's another essential part of
85.
billiards. As I said yesterday, it's construction and deconstruction.
That's correct.
You can't be bogged down if you don't get position in your first go. You really have to cuddle the balls, nudge the balls, and keep them bringing
88.
to the position.
And that's exactly where, Nishad, your basic billiards comes into play. When you're struggling on the table, I've seen so many champions, they're just playing basic billiards. The advanced stage is to get into
91.
top table and play the touch game. But the days that they are struggling with, all they do is just play basic billiards, stay on the table, build up the momentum, and once they feel that they're back in the flow, they get back to top table. So I think that's
54.
something which we are now seeing Sort of showing his basics by just playing all around the table now. We saw that yesterday by Pankaj.
And as we speak, Saurav has left himself short because his break is on 94 and he needs to cross the balk line. And again, this new technique that we are seeing, which is sort of like a snooker technique to cross the balk line, leaving yourself on short on the blue spot for a pot and then crossing the balk line with a pot.
That's correct. But I think Saurav hit that ball with a slightly more center. He would actually preferred a little stun, but because he hit it more firmer from the center of the ball's actually come back towards the pink spot. He would have actually preferred it coming toward from the right side of the table, giving him a chance for at least an in-off from the red or from the yellow in the center pocket, or just be on for the red pot.
I think he might have also got a little bit of a heavier contact. That's why he's asked the referee to clean the balls. And
Correct.
I think he was fortunate to leave himself on for a center and off of the yellow, and not much harm done. He's still in prime position. He has in off in the center pocket of the yellow, and then he can leave himself for a drop cannon to go back on top. And as we speak, that's the first century of the match.
Yes.
Made by Saurav, and he needs another 30 points to clinch this frame.
That's correct. Just a mere 30 points. It'll be interesting to see if Saurav is getting the contact on the red on the right side, or should I say the correct side, promoting the red towards the pocket, which he has done beautifully. I think a good red pot here will seal the deal for him.
Rightly so, I think. And again, I like how Saurav is approaching this final. He seems calm. He seems composed. He doesn't seem overawed by the occasion. And again, clearly taking a bit of that extra time to make sure he clinches this frame in one visit.
That's right. That's right. And again, somebody would have tried to play a faster red pot and come to the other side of the table, but Saurav again showing his basic billiard skills by playing the 369.
109.
And again, I think this now gives him the opportunity to read the pot and stay somewhere in the line of the pink spot. That way he could get the tap on the yellow, pushing it towards top table and then giving himself the red pot again. So we'd probably see that kind of a shot now from him. And I believe he's done that. He's probably a little higher than the pink spot, or maybe aligned towards the pink, but he's got a chance to be on top table now.
And he played it really well there. He controlled the yellow really well and controlled all the three balls really well, and he's now in prime position. And as we speak, he's already on 136 points. He just needs a mere 14 points. But clearly, Saurav looks to be in good touch. And again, as you going back to the thing you said, a lot of these world champions and great players tend to go for the simpler option instead of going for the overly complicated shot. And that's also what this game is about. This game is about discipline. This game is about taming the wild nature that you have in you, and that's why this game is called the gentleman's game, and it needs to be civil, and that's what it teaches you. And what are your thoughts on that?
I think this game is a lot in terms of discipline. It tells you and teaches you to stay and stick to the routine, play the right shots even if you're under pressure, because the right shots is something which is always going to take you to the other side of the fence. Sometimes people are trying to play the shortcuts, and that's when they get out of position, and then they have to get into recovery mode. I haven't seen Saurav into recovery mode this time at all. He's pretty much in control. He's not.
131.
He's sometimes not been able to execute in terms of positioning, but he always has the second shot on and is always in control of the game. And as we say that, he's taken the first frame, and with a great break of 131, I believe.
Yes.
So
and
it's going to be exciting how Pankaj now comes back in the game and how he replies.
I believe there could be no better start to our final. We saw a break of 131 from Saurav, and this will force Pankaj to be at the top of his game, and I hope this really brings the best out of both for the frames to come.
Yes, Nishad, I think it's very crucial for us as viewers to have a challenge. I'm sure everybody has a favorite and everybody would like to, just like how Roger Federer right now is battling in the Australian Open. And he's managed to win after being down 2-1. And
Yeah, no, of course, and I believe Pankaj will bring all his experience and talent and skill into play, and I'm sure he'll be eager to get on the table and respond to Saurav's century.
right, we'll just take a short break, and we've got Pankaj back on the screen. He's back in the arena and is breaking the second frame.
Two. Saurav, 2. Miss. Saurav, 2.
So a couple of exchanges now of safety again. Saurav taking his time, seeing his options. What he needs to now do is, he's right now in the balk area. He needs to pot this red and get to the top of the table. It'll be interesting to see how he gets the yellow back into play. I've seen Nishad many a times. These guys have always played with the red, played two pots, come back in the center, or leave themselves with an angle after bringing the red back on the center spot, leave themselves with a cannon. And that's one of the ways of bringing the opponent's ball back into action. So it's going to be interesting what Saurav does, because I actually expected him to pot that red and come back towards the red pot, but he chose to actually stay for the in-off. And I just feel that he's pretty composed and confident of playing the red and just playing with the red right now. What do you think of that?
I think yes, the option that you suggested was definitely on the cards, and as we said that he clearly missed that long loser.
6.
And I think he's left Pankaj on with a cannon or even a pot. And I think this is the first real opening that Pankaj has got, and let's see if he's able to respond with hopefully a century. And I won't be surprised at all if he does.
Well, the way Pankaj is playing, it seems as if it's either a 150 or nothing. He's finishing his games. He's not letting the opponent come back on the table. Something which we need to
4.
now see, because we did see him on the table in the first frame, but for some reason he wasn't really getting the shots that he wanted. And it'll be interesting now. With this kind of an angle, do you think he's playing for the top table, trying to promote Saurav's ball towards the top table, or do you think he's just trying to play a soft?
I think it's
soft
more
cannon?
really controlling his contact on the red and leaving his options open. And I
6.
think he's done exactly that. I think he's left himself on with the red and off in the center, and the white is also ideally placed for an in off afterwards. I think Pankaj probably won't rush to go to the top.
9.
He will, bide his time, get his flow, and then head to the top because he knows that Saurav is putting him under pressure, and Saurav is capable of finishing frames in one visit. So I'm sure he would want to get in the
12.
groove since he was off the table almost the entire of the first frame.
That's right, Nishad. Pankaj there just checking the angle that after he takes that in off, if he has a natural drop cannon angle. I think now, based on what he's hit now, we will realize that he has left
14.
himself for a drop cannon. And
A slightly unconventional drop cannon there, but I think the secret in this shot is to control the contact and the trajectory of the red, and he's done that
16.
very well. He's left himself on for a pot, and also the yellow is still in open play, as in the white, sorry. And let's see how he maneuvers the ball to bring top table position.
19.
now just playing a simple pot, he may just stun this ball and stay there for the in-off of the white, which he has. And now I think a simple in-off
22.
should give him the drop cannon position, and he could then attack the top table from the balk area.
And
24.
Pankaj has left himself on for a drop cannon. He might have to play it with a little bit of check side and get a good contact, half ball contact on the red.
26.
I
And
don't
that-
think that he was intending to hit the red on that side, but it's worked well in his favor.
It's worked very well actually. I think he's in prime position.
28.
After this spot, he'll be ideally placed in the floating white position on top table play. And I'm sure Pankaj must be eager to cash in on this opportunity, and the champion that he is, he would want to finish this frame in this visit.
31.
If you guys, our viewers, if they're seeing this on Facebook, I'd like you all to comment. Do you think that we'll see a 150 unfinished by Pankaj in this frame, or do you think he'll give one more chance
34.
to Saurav? Nishad, what do you think of this? Let's
It's
test
a prediction game. Sure.
What do you think?
I think if I had to bet my money, I would bet it on Pankaj winning the frame and making
winning
a
the frame,
150.
right?
Yeah.
Well,
in this visit.
I'm
in
saying
this visit.
I'm
this,
26.
in this visit, right?
in this visit. Yeah, I think he would.
I'm asking you, do you think he'll hit a 150, or will he give Saurav a chance?
No, I think I'm saying he is gonna hit a 150 or how much ever points he needs to
He's going to
win,
okay.
the
39.
frame, but he's not gonna give another chance to.
Somehow I feel he may just give Saurav a chance.
Anyway, we'll see who wins that prediction battle between me and Rishabh.
42.
But right now, Pankaj clearly in full flow, and the balls are ideally placed for him to make a sizable contribution.
With all the matches and that I've seen of Pankaj, I feel he's in
45.
complete control. But I don't know why, but I just have this sense right now that he's going to give a chance
47.
to Saurav.
And as we speak,
And I would happily stand corrected.
sure, I think only time will tell
50.
what happens. And as we speak, Pankaj has pushed the white to the cushion behind the spot, and this is called this position
52.
of top table is called the postman's knock. And correct me if I'm wrong, Rishabh, but Geet Sethi was the best exponent of this style of play.
Very much, Nishad. I think the legend, Mr. Geet Sethi, was
55.
I think just a notch above the rest in terms of the postman's knock. That ball would just not move
57.
from the cushion, and it was I wouldn't say it's boring as
60.
the opponent, because the guy is going on and on. He's hammering centuries after centuries, and as the opponent, it just feels very
62.
dejected just to have your cue ball stuck there and helpless, not able to do anything. But having said that, I think it's just fantastic to have
65.
experienced Mr. Geet Sethi play in person myself. He's a treat to watch for all generations to come, and for all who have competed against him.
67.
And I think because of the angle that Pankaj had, he couldn't keep the ball in post-Masonk position and had to bring the white off, and now he's going to have to play a thin cannon off the cushion.
Do you think he would go for the follow cannon, or would he go for the cushion?
I think he's going for the follow cannon.
69.
He went for the follow cannon as you predicted, Rishabh, and he's disturbed top table play. And again, as we were discussing in previous frame, sometimes you just
72.
have to deconstruct and come back to the position and reconstruct it, and that's a hallmark of all these great billiard players.
Very rightly said, Nishad. The one thing I've noticed in all these players is, even if they're deconstructing
75.
their top table breaks, I've never seen the opponent's cue ball get stuck on a cushion. It's always in play, somewhere in the middle of the table, always lying there where they can actually tap it back into play. Generally, the other players who are not as seasoned as them, they generally lose the cushion, the ball onto the cushion,
78.
and then they're left with just one ball. And if they're not really as good as these players are, they're always struggling to recover.
No, absolutely. And in this matter, I would like to quote the great snooker player Ronnie O'Sullivan, everybody's favorite. He was once asked by a BBC commentator, how do you perfectly position for a single ball every time? And to his answer was,
81.
I don't.
Backline
I always
warning.
leave options. And that is exactly what these players are doing. They want to keep the white in the open when they are playing on the red, because they want to have an option if they slightly overrun or underhit a ball. And that is exactly what Pankaj did. He had overrun on the red
83.
and he had the white in play to get the in off. I think it's not ideally placed, the white, at the moment. He might have to play the long Jenny.
It seems so, Nishad. And in case if he misses this, I think my prediction may come true.
Yes, that's right. But I
Not an easy shot, but I think for Pankaj, no shot is difficult.
and that's
and
an excellent shot that went into the
beautifully
center of
played.
the pocket.
Yes.
And
Very much.
also the white
85.
has come out in a good position for a drop cannon. He might have to play this with a little bit of running hand side, but he should be fine.
Very much, Nishad. I think the table conditions that we have, the split that we have on these tables, it's
87.
allowing the players to have a wider angle and play with side and yet control the balls beautifully well. And like I said earlier, again, the cue ball, the opponent's cue ball is not stuck somewhere in the cushion, but it's nicely placed for a simple tap in, which we will now see, and push it back towards top table.
90.
I think he might play another pot because he's slightly higher placed on the white. As we say, he's looking at that shot, and I think he might play another pot and bring the yellow back.
Rightly said, Nishad. He's done that, but he may have not
I think he
played with the strength that he wanted.
93.
I think he might have underhit it and he might have to play a thin cannon, but I think he's fine. Oh, he went for the
Yes, and
thicker follow cannon instead, and he has covered.
95.
Why?
we'll have to
With
see
the
now
right.
if the ball is touching the cue ball. It doesn't seem so, because we don't see the referee bending down, so there's enough gap between the two balls. And I don't think he has the follow cannon available, because he's going to make a foul if he does that. So I think he's either I think two options: either go for a slight stun in off if the angle permits, or then he's going to go for a cannon off the cushion.
Yes, and I think he's considering both options. But you know what, Rishabh, your prediction just might come true. This is a bit of a spot of bother for Pankaj. Let's see what he does from this position. And by the looks of it, he's fancying the 1 or 2 cushion cannon
That's
at the
right.
moment.
Frankly speaking, Nishad, I'd want to be wrong now. I'd want that he makes this cannon because it looks beautiful. For the viewers, it'll be a fantastic shot. But the shot that we saw from the side, it doesn't seem that he's got the angle
Yeah.
to get back towards the red spot.
And I think he's going to have to play the thin screw in off with the rest. I mean, this can go wrong horribly.
It could horribly go wrong because he's going to leave Saurav on very much towards the business end. He may want to consider playing a safety shot here because he has a natural angle to go towards the bottom of the table, which is towards the balk area. Obviously, he will have to control the cue ball. He'll have to leave it somewhere on the cushion, or it seems like he's just
playing
tapping.
safe.
I think he's just tapping the ball there, leaving. He's done that. You need to now see that it's not kissing,
Pankaj, 95.
because that will give Saurav a position, and the referee confirms that it's not
And that
sticking.
was actually a brave attempt by Pankaj.
That's right.
And he's played it really well. If the ball was touching, Saurav could have got position, and he would have been back in play. But he's going for the thin cannon of the
So as
cushion.
predicted, Saurav has got one chance, but I think he's.
Oh, he's gonna get lucky. He's gonna get lucky. And I think he got the cannon.
2.
Oh, he's got the cannon, is it?
Yes.
I think now he's got a pretty straightforward cannon to make, and that'll naturally put the red towards the pocket. Send the red towards the pocket.
Oh, he's
Sir,
missed
he's,
it.
he's missed both
He's
of them.
missed it. He's missed the pot. He's missed the cannon. He's missed the in-off.
Wow.
And sometimes this can happen when there are multiple shots that are on. You don't have the clarity of mind of which shot to go for, and you end up going for options, and sometimes you can miss.
So that's a rare chance that Pankaj gives, and Saurav is not able to capitalize on that.
I think.
I
sorry,
felt
go ahead.
Nishad, that Saurav should have taken his time and confirmed one of the two. I think the pot was a difficult one. He should have taken time to make the cannon for sure. I think he was trying to not pot the red and make the cannon, so he gets his next shot. But I think at this point he should have just concentrated on the cannon. If the red pot gets pot, he would have had an easy pot from there,
Yeah.
from the spot.
I
So-
agree with you, and I think he definitely needed to
3.
focus on one option. And as we speak, the score now is 95 to Pankaj Advani and 12 to Saurav. Pankaj needing another 50 odd points to clinch this second frame, and
6.
it would be very hard for me to see Pankaj missing from this position. What do you think, Rishabh? We'll see another chance?
No, I don't think so now. I
9.
think Pankaj is now going to leave the table till he gets to 150. Pankaj doesn't give too many chances. He's given one. Was not capitalized by Saurav. I think this. It'll now be safe to say that it's going to be 1-all.
Yeah, I think I would have to agree. And Saurav must be a bit disappointed with himself. I'm sure he was expecting Pankaj to win the frame in one visit, but he got that opportunity,
14.
but was not able to capitalize. But nonetheless, I'm sure there's a long way to go in this final yet.
16.
And this is something that I've picked up by playing other sports. So if you've played a bad shot,
18.
don't let it linger in your mind, because it spoils the other shots to come. You need to get over it and focus back into the game, and whatever chances that come up next, you need to grab those.
21.
So it's important to just let that bad shot go from your head and just focus on the next opportunity that comes.
No, very rightly said, Rishabh. And it's all about staying in the present moment. You can't let the past shot
24.
or the future anxiety affect you. You have to just focus on the shot and the situation you have in hand. And I believe
26.
Pankaj is a great exponent of that, and that's the reason he's won so many titles.
$29.
And right
31.
now Pankaj is in prime position on top table play, and the white is in the floating white position, and it's very hard for me
34.
to see Pankaj missing from this position, and clinching this frame is a mere formality at this stage. He just needs another 22 points. Sorry, 21 points. And screwing it back slightly to leave himself an
37.
angle to cannon on the white.
$39.
He might have liked the red to bounce a little bit off the cushion, and that's why he's forced to play the in-off and leave himself a long pot on. These can be tricky
42.
sometimes, Rishabh.
Of course, Nishad, because the attempt of potting and staying there is difficult. Just potting the ball is not. The whole idea is controlling the cue ball after you've hit the ball, and sometimes that is difficult.
And clearly Pankaj didn't attempt to control it. He made sure of the pot because he knew that
45.
even if his yellow comes anywhere on this side of the table, he would have the cannon on.
Very rightly said, Nishad. That's left Pankaj with a relatively simple cannon. The strength here is important because the red needs to come back, and that's what he's
47.
played for. Unfortunately, he got the jaws, which took away some of the power of the shot.
He still has a screw in off the white to the left hand corner pocket, and he's played that with a little bit of running hand side or pocket side, as we call it, to help
49.
it help it go in the pocket. And Pankaj clearly wants to make sure he wins the frame. He's just controlling one ball or so, and just making sure that he wins the frame.
51.
That's right, Nishad. Now I think just 6 points away, or rather 4 points away after that cannon. Slightly overstretching, but he saw the follow through
57 in game.
in off as
Pankaj.
well. Both the players now taking a recess, and we too will see you shortly.
Yes, thank you.
स्मार्ट घर EMI सही, सुंदर परिसर, भरपूर सोई।
अब लाइफ को बनाओ गुड लाइफ। वास्कॉन गुड लाइफ।
Life is all about a new start every day. A new step towards progress. To become what we imagined. And to make the dreams a reality. Now, it's time to begin with a new address of life and become a proud owner of a modern lifestyle. A landmark development in the growing eastern part of Pune that promises swift access to Kharadi, Viman Nagar, Pune Airport, Magarpatta City and Kalyani Nagar. You also stay at your comfort with all day-to-day conveniences like major hospitals,
स्मार्ट घर EMI सही, सुंदर परिसर, भरपूर
Welcome to the third frame now. We have Pankaj break frame 3. Saurav is now going to attempt playing a safety shot. Trying to push the cue ball on this side, or rather the right side of the table.
Yes, we welcome you back, all our viewers, to PYC Hindu Gymkhana for the National Championship final between Pankaj Advani and Saurav Kothari. The score right now is 1-all. Saurav winning the initial frame and Pankaj responding and winning the second frame. I think since this is a best of 9 and the score is 1-all, we might see a bit of a safety exchange now to see who wins the first opportunity, especially since seeing where the red is placed. And just as we said, he might have left Pankaj on with a red in off.
Definitely, Nishad, he's definitely got the in off now, and this opportunity is something which Pankaj is not going to leave.
Yes, and he played a forcing red in off and brought the red in and out of balk. But I don't think he is ideally placed for the next shot. He might have wanted the red to run a bit more and leave himself for in off. And now he's going to have to be forced to play the cannon.
That's right.
And off the cushion. And as we know, these shots can be tricky. You don't quite know where all the balls are headed. You need a bit of fortune on these shots.
That's a good cannon by Pankaj.
Oh wow, and that's worked out really well for Pankaj. I don't think he expected the white and red to be so close together. But I think he'll take it.
Sub.
And just as we said, Pankaj in with the first opportunity in this third frame. And again, Pankaj now knows this is a good chance. So just taking his time, he's asked the referee to clean the balls. He's composing himself. And I'm sure he wants to probably make a 150 break and win the frame in this visit.
That's right, Nishad. Just to inform our viewers that many a times the players ask the referees to clean the balls. It's purely because the constant usage of chalk. The chalk gets deposited from the cue to the object ball, or rather the cue ball, and then from the cue ball to the object ball. And sometimes there is it does hamper the flow of the ball, or rather the roll of the ball, and that's the reason why they keep telling them to, asking them to clean at times.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially in billiards, since billiards is more predominantly follow-based game. You want the ball to run true, and you can't afford to have any kicks. And since billiards is a game of very less margins, you want to make sure you don't want to have any friction or any sort of kick coming in between your shot.
Playing the soft cannon there, ensuring that he gets the cannon and he's back on the right part.
20.
And actually it's a great shot because he's nudged the opponent's ball, Saurav's cue ball, off the cushion. He can go for the pot now and stay in angle for the white and off. So he actually left himself for two options. If he underhits it, he has a red pot. If he overhits it, he has a cannon, or as well as the in-off of the white.
Yes, and again he's leaving again because he's not on top table and he's playing all round table.
26.
This is one good thing to learn if anyone's watching. Pankaj always tries to leave himself options. He doesn't bank himself on getting that one shot and leaving himself on for just one shot. And a good red in off in the left hand corner pocket, controlling the red nicely
29.
for another in off in the center pocket.
To update our viewers, we've just got the scores from table 2. Dhwaj Haria versus Brajesh and Brajesh Damani. Dhwaj was leading 1-0, and now Dhwaj is back on the table, but trailing 89 to 128 of Brajesh.
32.
We would probably see another run finish from Dhwaj to make it 2-0. In case if he falters, Brajesh will make it 1-all.
Yes, and just to remind the viewers, that's the match that's been playing for
34.
the third and fourth position of the national championship. Dhwaj lost to Pankaj 5-0 yesterday, and Brijesh lost to Saurav in the other semi-final 5-0 yesterday. And mind you, even the third and fourth position is very important, as these championships usually decides who's going to represent India in the IBSF
36.
billiards tournaments.
That's right, Brajesh. That's right.
So a lot at
Nishad.
stake for all these players.
Always. And the rank as well.
38.
Everybody wants to get higher on the rank system and a personal landmark for themselves. Being
Yes,
the number 3 and the number 4, you'd always want to settle with a higher rank after giving so much of time and effort. We now are seeing some basic billiards from Pankaj, the 369.
41.
He's going to go for the red in-off now.
This is one thing I've noticed over years of watching Pankaj's game. He's really a complete all-round billiards player. He's strong in all
44.
forms of the game. He has some fantastic recovery shots. His spotting is strong because he's such a good snooker player as well, and he's able to make big breaks playing both all-round billiards and top table. That makes him such a formidable opponent.
Rightly said, Nishad.
46.
And right now, I think I'm sure Pankaj wants to head to top table, but he's still biding his time. He's playing the in-offs, and let's see how soon he makes it to top table. And as we said, he attempted the drop cannon, but it didn't quite work out how he intended. But he is fortunate enough to leave himself on with a white in-off. Let's see if he plays it in and out or just tries to control the white.
I think he has the angle to play it in and out, ensuring that he's always going to be having the next
50.
shot.
And now he's going to have to play the white in off even if the cannon is on, because there's a danger of pushing the white towards the pocket. So he's opted for playing the in off, and he really played it well because the white was heading towards the red, but he
52.
controlled all the 3 balls beautifully there. Now the key to this drop cannon is really getting a fuller contact on the white and also controlling the red, but he's played the in off. Again, Pankaj taking no chances
55.
and not opting for the easier option.
Many would have actually taken the cannon there, but Pankaj playing the percentage game, he's gone for, he did go for the in-off with the red,
57.
and now is trying to develop.
That's a beautiful drop cannon, just nudging the white behind the white spot and got a good contact on the red, and now with this cannon he should be back
59.
in prime position. I think he would have liked a fuller contact on the red, but he should be okay since the in-off of the red is on. But he's going to have to use the extension and the long rest for this shot. These terms, long rest and extension, can be quite entertaining for the non-snooker or billiards player. All these accessories that are used in our sport.
That's right, Nishad. This table is 12 feet by 6 feet, and it's tough to get to all parts of the table from one side, and that's where you have the rest and the extension. The extension is
62.
nothing but, as the name suggests, extending the rest or the cue for the overreach, and just a few accessories to make life simpler on the table.
And again, Pankaj playing the red and off in the right-hand corner pocket, leaving himself
65.
on for a drop cannon. And the object here is to get a good contact on the red and push it towards the pocket. But he's played a nice gathering cannon, and he couldn't
67.
have played it any better.
Yes, Nishad, I think it just seems he's in total control now.
69.
He has the cannon there, he has the pot there, but of course the right shot would be to go for the pot.
Yes, especially since where the white is placed.
A little nudge on the white from there, cannoning the red, and I think he should be back in
72.
business, playing top table.
Yes, and his break right now is 74
74.
points, and he needs another 76 points to win this frame. And as we speak, he's approaching the balkline warning, which will be given after his break reaches
77.
80.
Will be interesting to see what kind of balkline cross do we see. Is it going to be the conventional way, or is it going to be the Pankaj way, which is the two pots and coming from the blue spot
80, balkline
into the
wall.
balk?
Yeah, I think you never know. Pankaj likes to mix it up, so let's see what he tries. But since he is on top table, he might go for the conventional approach. But let's see.
82.
And I think he does have a chance now. He has the angle to cross the balk. With his break of 82, he has enough more time
Now the shot
cross
is
to cross the balk.
Yes.
I've noticed here that many a times
85.
when players get the first opportunity to cross the balk, they try and do it. But the seasoned players, they're
87.
so well versed with the routine that they know exactly at what time they're going to be getting the opportunity to cross the balk, and they wait for it.
And I think Pankaj is doing that now, and he's played it really well. He brought the ball off of 3 cushions. He might have
90. Balkline cross.
wanted the ball to run a bit more, but I think because of the angle, he should be fine. And
92.
he controlled the contact on the red really well there. Left himself for an in-off. He can play the pot too, but that could be a bit risky.
Playing the in-off would be easier because he's just going to naturally send the red towards the center. But I think he went and checked the angle before he hit that shot, and
98.
he now has to attempt a cannon from the balk area. Not an easy shot, this one. Many greats play this with a lot of drag on the ball. It just slows down the entire pace, leaving the red towards the
he played
pocket
it really
as we
well
see
there.
it now.
And Pankaj really played it exceptionally well. He got a double kiss on the white and controlled his contact on the red, leaving himself for a pot, and he's back in prime position.
103.
Just a update from the other table. Dhwaj managed to hit an unfinished and is now leading 2-0 in the best of 9.
106.
And again, Pankaj showing us how strong of a snooker player he is.
109.
Went for the pot in the shot before this instead of a cannon, and going up to the center of the table to leave himself for a pot, and he'll come down again with a pot. And leaving himself nicely for a cannon.
He would have preferred the cue ball to be
112.
slightly more lower towards the cushion so that he could have got the natural angle, but now he is going to go for the in-off. Had he had his ball by the cushion, he would have attempted the cannon, bringing the opponent's ball, Saurav's cue ball, under the red spot. And this is where the flexibility comes into play, the knowledge of the game, and not hurrying into your shots, being patient and playing the right game. This
Yes.
is where I think every coach who has played this game has always said to play the basics.
Yes, and Pankaj potting the ball nicely there and leaving himself on for a follow-through
180.
pot or even a cannon. I think he's going to follow the ball and pot and leave himself for a cannon to bring the white back into play. He's played the cannon instead and gathered the balls very nicely.
120.
He's now going to create a chance of pushing the
22.
white under the red spot, and he may have this chance now because he can play this ball slightly faster, the cannon, because he has a chance of hitting the red thinner, and as we see on the screen, he's done that beautifully well.
And now ideally placed for the postman's knock position on top table play. White
127.
almost exactly behind the red spot, which is ideally placed for the postman's knock style of play. And Pankaj doesn't need a lot, he just needs another mere 20 odd points to clinch this frame.
130.
And I'm sure he's going to do it. And this is going to put a bit of pressure on Saurav, because he won the first frame, and Pankaj,
132.
the champion that he is responded with clinching the next two frames.
That's right, Nisha. Then I don't see any reason why Pankaj should not win this frame.
135.
He's in total control right now. Having a lead of 2-1 in a best of 9 is a comfortable place to be, but with a lot of work to do.
138.
And I hope Saurav gets going, and this motivates him to raise his game a bit higher, and I hope he responds in the next frame, because truly if it becomes 2-2, then it'll be a very close final after that.
143.
And I think we would want a close final, although we do have our favorites in place, but who doesn't like a little battle?
No, everyone does, I'm sure.
46.
Everyone who's watching hopes for this to go down to the wire.
148. 151 in game. Pankaj.
And with that, Pankaj clinching the third frame, making it 2-1.
With an unfinished 151.
Yes, this is really gonna hopefully push Saurav to raise his game. We'll be back with you shortly for the action in the fourth frame. Thank you.
Referee has taken a recess. Now we now see all of them on the screen here. Our referee is just making a note of the scores.
पुरसोई
अब लाइफ को बनाओ गुड लाइफ वास्कॉन गुड लाइफ
Now getting ready for the fourth frame.
Life is all about a new start every day.
स्मार्ट घर EMI सही, सुंदर परिसर, भरपूर सोयी.
अब लाइफ को बनाओ गुड लाइफ वास्कॉन गुड लाइफ
Starting the fourth frame. A well-controlled shot by him, but I think slightly less in terms of power. It's left Saurav with a center in off. But the angle that at which Saurav has placed the cue ball seems like he's going for a red pot. Not an easy shot, this. With a little bit of fortune, he's not really left anything on for Pankaj. Pankaj will have to work his way to start his account in this frame. Just to update our viewers, this is the Manisha Vascon Billiards and Snooker Nationals in the year 2020. Mr. Rajan Khemsara, the president of the Billiard and Snooker Association of Maharashtra, is also the sponsor, title sponsor of this event. along with Vascon Engineering. This is the final of the Vascon Manisha Nationals, the finals of the men's billiards. We have our two national champions and world champions competing for this. A little exchange of safety right now. Pankaj may have to play a little screw shot with a little bit of right side if he wants to make the in-off. But the way he's cueing, it seems that he's going to go for a safety shot himself. Pankaj trying to make up his mind. Safety is never easy in billiards because of the options of a pot, a cannon, an in-off. It's never easy.
Yes, rightly said, Rishabh. And as you said, he might have misjudged his safety and left screw in off with the yellow on for Saurav.
Bad shot.
But again, Saurav didn't manage to control the contact of the yellow, and he would have liked it to be much more softer and outside of the block, and he's left himself with a difficult cannon. But he's played that really well.
This is the second time in the entire tournament I've seen Saurav play that shot, the in-off, the previous shot, which resulted in Pankaj's cue ball getting into the block. It's the second time. He's actually misjudged the strength of that shot. And I think the safer way to play that would have always been to play it in and out rather than trying to control it directly. But he followed it up with a brilliant cannon, with a lot of side, a lot of English, if I may say. And with that cannon now, I think he should be in a commanding position.
I think he would have wanted a slightly thinner contact on the red for the cannon there, but fortunately where the yellow is landed, he has an easy cannon, and he also has a screw in off, thin screw in off with left hand side of the red. Let's see which option does he go for. He's went for the screw in off in the left hand corner pocket and played it really well. He's controlled the red for a pot or an in-off in the center pocket. I think it's essential for Saurav's sake to compose himself and make sure that he responds with a big break in this frame. He would not want to be trailing Pankaj 3-1.
As you said, Nishad, with Saurav being on the table, I think it's very imperative that he makes his 2-all and maintains the pressure on Pankaj, because both these players have the ability to run away with the game or the match. They both are capable of making the 150s, and they both are capable of completely muting one another.
Yes, and especially since I've followed Pankaj's game for such a long time, he is one of the most lethal front runners in the game that I've seen. If Pankaj takes a lead of 3 or 4 frames or even 2 or 3 frames, it's very hard to catch up with him. And it's essential for Saurav to win this frame and keep himself level on the scoreboard.
A good confident long loser by Saurav with good speed, sending the red back
25
towards the block area. He's got a relatively easy in-off now, And I think he would now want to actually develop that into a drop cannon as soon as he can.
You think he's playing?
I think
drop
with
cannon?
with that angle, he may be going for the drop cannon.
Yeah. And he's played that well.
27.
He would have liked the red to go past the yellow, but I think he's okay.
I think he should try and play the cannon in such a way that he gets
29.
the red pot, which he has, and he can actually now stun the red and keep his cue ball towards the cushion, giving him the in-off, and then he can manipulate the opponent's cue ball as well. But seems like he's relying on his snooker skills now, getting back into potting position.
I think he
32.
opted to go for another pot because now he can just roll the ball in and he will leave himself for an in-off of the yellow. And with that, he can control the yellow to bring it to for a drop cannon. And again, he's played it. He's stunned it in. He doesn't want to take any chances since the conditions are
35.
new, and he's going to play another pot and leave himself on for the in-off of the yellow. After two pots of the spot, the red will go onto the blue spot, and that's usually a standard long loser from the D if you have an handball. And I think Saurav is opted for that option. Again, as
38.
you mentioned before, Rishabh, he's clearly not taking any shortcuts. He's making sure he's playing the high percentage game.
Very much so. I would have actually played a pot
40.
and stayed for the in-off there, because that was the first opportunity I would have got to revive the opponent's ball. But Saurav, being confident of his game, has executed the way he has. He took 2 extra shots to bring the cue ball where I would have tried to bring in the first shot itself. And that is the difference between
43.
a champion and the others. They take their time, they know the routine, and they stick to the routine. They don't try to take those shortcuts that many would take otherwise.
Yes, and to add to that, they try to keep it simple. They don't rush into getting to top table.
46.
They instead opt for the high percentage shots, and that's exactly what Saurav is doing. Mind you, with the long loser that he played of the red before, he didn't want it to hit the yellow. I think he's been a bit fortunate with the red being still in play, and the yellow is now on the cushion. I'm sure he would want to bring the yellow back into play as soon as possible.
Always,
49.
Nishad, being this format of the game, which is billiard, which is 3 balls, the trick is to keep all these 3 balls into play to have the maximum score. And
52.
he's just trying to do exactly that.
And I think he's going to play a forcing in off of the red and bring the red in and out of balk and leave himself on for a pot or an in off in the center of the red. And I think he's
55.
got a good in off. And now he would probably. He's looking at the cannon. He's looking at the cannon of the red to the yellow. And I think he's decided to play that. The key here is to control the red. Again, he's changed his mind. I think rightly so. He would probably play the red in off again in the center and bring it in a much better position to play the cannon.
That's right, Nishad. And very interestingly, I don't know if
58.
you've ever noticed that when you have a standard in-off, you actually have 3 ways of playing it. You can play it with plain ball, you can play it with check, or you can play it with running. And the effect that it has on the ball is exactly what you want to do with the next shot, and how you want to manipulate the
60.
role of the object ball. It's very interesting how these players use side at times to manipulate the role of the ball and to bring it into positions that they want.
Yes, very much so, because for many of us snooker fans who are watching the sport right now, snooker after a certain level, it's not about the potting, it's all about the white ball. It's all about how you control the white ball. And in billiards, when you're playing in-offs, it's the exact opposite. It's all about the object ball, because the in-off is guaranteed, as you said.
Of course.
And imparting side on the cue ball determines the path of the object ball, because the side is transferred to the object ball, and that's the reason players play it a certain way.
That's correct, Nishant. And it's interesting to see one
62.
exponent of the side is the great Mr. Subhash Agarwal. I've seen him play with so much of side and yet control. Mind you, Mr. Subhash Agarwal has the fastest century. He's done that in under 3.5 minutes in billiards.
Wow.
3.5 minutes. It's
64.
very difficult to accept and even agree that somebody can hit a century in 3.5 minutes. But he's done that in a match, and it has been timed. A great legend of this sport, and it was always overwhelming as a junior to see him play this game. I had the opportunity
67.
and the fortune to play in the same club as he used to practice in, and I've watched him play many a times. A fantastic executioner of billiards, a good snooker player as well, but his billiards was just superlative
69.
in all ways.
Yes, absolutely. I've heard a lot about Mr. Subhash Agarwal. I was not fortunate enough to see him play any time, but yes, his skills on the billiard table are legendary.
That's right.
And with that,
71.
Saurav was slowly moving to 70, and slowly moving to 70, and he's taking his time, and I'm sure he would want to win the frame in this visit.
73.
Again, Saurav is still, I would say, not in full flow, and is not controlling all the balls, but in spite of that, he's making sure that his break is continuing, and I'm sure he would want to Pankaj to sit in that chair.
That's right, Nisha. Saurav is now going to attempt the in-off of the yellow, and if he's given it enough power, he would have the drop cannon from there,
75.
allowing him to come back towards top table. And what is crucial now is the contact of his cue ball on the red. He needs to contact it on the left side of the red of the screen that we see, so that he can leave himself on for a pot.
Oh, I think he played it direct and he got it off.
77.
I think he's a bit lucky there.
He got very lucky there. I think he just misjudged the split a little, and but he's got lucky there. And as you said, will be interesting to see how he recovers from this position now, because a natural cannon would send the red towards the center, but he does have a follow cannon with a lot of
I
side.
think he's going for a pot with the side. That's
the
an
side.
exceptional shot, actually.
Correct.
That's a really good shot under pressure, because he played that with running hand side,
82.
but he
Walkman
also
one.
left himself an option for the cannon,
That's right.
and he's got both. And I think he should be okay and should be able to recover from this position now. I'm not sure if the red passes through. We cannot be sure from the camera angle here. I think Saurav went round to just see that, and if he's able to pot the red in the opposite pocket of which he's potting now, he should be fine.
With this shot, it clearly tells us that the red is potable in the bottom
85.
left pocket, and it will be interesting to see if he actually leaves his cue ball right there below for the yellow in off, or brings it back towards the center.
I think he went back up the center, because he also needs to cross the balk. His break is 88 as we speak, and with this pot he should be able to cross the balk line.
That's right, Nishad. He's actually
And I think
calculated his options very well.
there's
and-
some smart play on his behalf, because of where the yellow is lying as well. Because even if he doesn't play the red correctly, he's always going to have a huge margin of error for the yellow in off, and that's exactly what has happened.
That's correct. He's
91,
left himself
log line
on for
cross.
a conventional in-off there. With the right kind of speed that he puts on his cue ball, I think he should be able to control the yellow for another drop cannon and then attack the top table again.
Yes, let's see how he plays this in off. And he's played it with a good speed there, leaving himself on for a drop cannon. I think the drop cannon might be slightly thicker with check
93.
side. He could even play the yellow loser in the left-hand corner pocket. But let's see which option he goes first. By the looks of it, he is probably seeing the drop cannon.
And now we've just got an update that Dhwaj has won the third spot by winning the match 3 frames to nil. That makes Brijesh Damani our number 4, national number 4 in billiards in 2020, with Dhwaj our number 3. And time will tell who is number 1 and number 2.
Yes, and I
95.
believe both those players represent the Petroleum Sports Board.
That's right, Nishad. In fact, all these 4, the top 4, they all are PSPB, which is Petroleum Sports Promotion Board.
97.
These 4 represent different variants of the Petroleum Board, which is ONGC and IOC and BPCL.
And coming back to our match with the break, Saurav already on a break of 97, approaching his century. He might be slightly hampered because the yellow is covering the red, but he can play. He has 2 options of playing the cannon. He can either play a thin cannon off the cushion.
With a lot of side. though.
Yes, with a lot of side, or he can play it run through. He's opted for the thinner option, and he's got it really well.
99.
Yeah, not the contact that he would have liked. He would like the cue ball to hit the red a little more fuller. But I think the angle that we see now, it seems that he has the in-off and the cannon.
Yes, and really delicate cannon there by Saurav to not lose position.
101.
And he's back in prime spot. And I think looking at the scoreboard now, I would be shocked to see Saurav miss from this position. It would be safe to say that
104.
most likely going to win the frame in this visit.
Nishad, do you think that if Saurav wins this frame with a 150 break and leaving Pankaj on nil,
107.
will give him a little edge in terms of the mental stability that he's looking for, or the confidence that he wants?
109.
I think definitely, but I think it was also necessary for Saurav to do that because he won the first frame, Pankaj won the next 2, and won the the third one in
112.
one visit with a 150 himself. So it was necessary for Saurav to send Pankaj a message in his chair that he's not affected at all, and he's up for this challenge. I think both players seem very evenly matched in terms of their psychological strengths at this stage.
That's
of the
right,
final.
Nishad. In fact, we
150.
actually got to see a very crucial pot from Saurav. He was actually trying to attempt the red pot with a little more side. In the previous one, he fell short of the cannon
170.
and recovered by a beautiful red pot, and now has got a chance to come back on top table. He's just checking for the angles for his second red pot. Only the angles in a few minutes will let us know if it is on.
Yes, I think the way he's played it was not on, and he's probably opted for a yellow
120.
enough or even a red enough, just to make sure he continues his break.
That's right.
And with that, Saurav playing the red enough
123.
in the left-hand corner pocket, leaving himself on nicely for a red enough in the center pocket. Saurav just needs another 27 points to clinch this frame. And he's taking that extra second, making sure he's playing the shot and cueing properly, and
126.
trying to gain all confidence and win the frame in this visit. and really
128.
nicely controlled the contact on the yellow on the drop cannon.
That's a good cannon, Nishad. He's left himself very comfortably for a cannon. A thin little nudge on the yellow and a little fast would actually promote the red towards the pocket,
130.
and which he's done so. Not the kind of contact he wanted. He would have wanted more fuller, but with this angle he can go in for the red and off and send the red back towards the center.
And that's what is exactly is done.
133.
He would have wanted the red to run a bit more. Now he's
For a
gonna-
pot. So he could have come back to top table, but I think now we'll see his recovery in terms of the in-offs.
Yes, he's now forced to play the red and off in the center, and he's going to have to play it forcing and bring the red in and out of balk. This can always be a little bit tricky,
With the jaws there.
but he's played it really well and controlled the red right in the
136.
center of the table, leaving himself options.
We'll now see him attempt a center and off in the right pocket, right center pocket, just being sure that he's not placed the ball outside the D. And now going for the in-off. Seems slightly tentative, but settled in.
Yes, and again playing it the in and out way, making sure of the red and off, and not taking any chances.
39.
He could have played that with left hand side and control it, but he opted for the safer option.
He just played that in-off on contact rather than playing with side, and just letting the natural angle to take its play.
And again, really maneuvering the red well with the center and off. He might have wanted to
142.
run a bit more, but I think he has two options. He has the long loser in the left hand corner pocket, but also has the drop cannon with a little bit of check side.
I think he would go for the drop cannon now, and just ensure that.
Oh, and
Saurav,
that's an error. I
142.
think that's all this while Saurav was not taking the shortcuts, and he was a different Saurav would have played the long loser in the left hand corner pocket, but I think anxiety getting the better of him there.
I think so too. I think he just fell short with a little bit of side. He needed to give a little more of that check side, but it wasn't to be. We're just 8 points away. And it'll be interesting to see if Pankaj now makes a comeback and hits the unfinished 150.
And rightly so. This could be a very important point in this match. If Pankaj is able to score heavily and win the frame in this visit, this will hurt Saurav.
Definitely. It's going to be, and then it'll also mentally play on Saurav's mind.
The referee there trying to make sure there's a silence in the auditorium. Yeah, and Pankaj, being the champion that he
Five.
is, he knows that this is a great chance for him to get the psychological edge by winning this frame. So I'm sure he's going to make sure
Sub.
and try his best to win the frame in one visit here.
Definitely, Nishad. Mentally extremely strong, extremely stable. We've seen him climb back into games, into matches many a times. I don't see why Pankaj is not going to get this frame. It is a tall task and a long task, but it's definitely
30.
possible with the quality that he has.
And what's your opinion on this, Rishabh? Usually, if over the years, all the billiards games that I've seen, especially when
15.
the match can be as close as this, and it can be is between evenly matched opponents. Usually, the people who usually the players who steal frames like these come out on top.
70.
Yes, Nishad. I think it's always been interesting for as a viewer to steal these kind of frames. We have a slight Chinese, as we call.
9-2.
Pankaj would have to raise his bridge for that pot. It's never easy playing this way. He needs to actually ensure that he pots the ball. At the same time, he needs to ensure that he's back into
And he did really well there.
position.
That was not an easy pot.
A lot faster, Nishad, on that shot. Not the usual him. It generally takes his time. But we saw him just make that bridge and just go for the shot.
Yes.
Very unlike him.
Yes, absolutely, very unlike him. But also that could have been because of the
The
snooker-
awkwardness.
Yeah, the awkwardness of the position, and Pankaj relying heavily on his potting again. Mind you, make no mistake, Pankaj makes it look ridiculously easy, but these
25.
pots can be difficult in billiards.
And that's exactly what I would like to tell all our viewers, that when these people play top table, when these players are playing top table, after potting the ball, it's extremely important for them to come back closer towards the spot. They want to stay as close as possible to the red spot and not cue from the cushion area, because that allows them to manipulate, add side or stun to the object ball. They're always trying to get closer to the red spot.
Yes, that sort of
33.
minimizes the error, and also, gives them a greater degree of control over close range, and that's all what this game is all
35.
about.
Nishad, what are your takes on the cue positioning? Many a times I've heard that when you're playing the shorter game, not in terms of the shorter format, but when you're playing these
38.
shorter pots, many people actually suggest that we should shorten our cue as well. In terms of the
40.
grip, we must have a shorter bridge. We must also hold the cue not from the butt, but from slightly more towards the tip. What do you think
43.
about that?
Yes, I think there are multiple views on it, and there's no one way to play this game, of course. And it's all about your technique, and everyone has their own way of playing it. I
48.
myself am a firm believer of shortening your grip and lessening your follow through in close range shots, because that gives you more accuracy and more control. Because in terms of physics, all you're trying to do is trying to minimize the error by going closer to the ball. So yes, I would say that is a better
50.
way of playing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with that, Pankaj didn't want the red to pot in the previous shot, but being the champ that he is happy to deconstruct
52.
again and build top table again from this position.
That's right, Nishad. Now we see him going back for the top table, getting that drop cannon the right way. Good speed there.
And good contact
54.
as well.
Oh,
The way
yes.
he got the contact on the red tells me he's in full flow.
In full flow. It just seems as if somebody just placed the balls there.
Yeah.
That was a perfect cannon.
And again, this spot couldn't have played it any better. This
57.
is looking ominous from Saurav's perspective, I must say. This could hurt him a lot if Pankaj steals this frame to come from behind and makes an 150 run finished.
Definitely. I think the only way that Saurav can win this frame is by an unforced error by Pankaj, which I don't
62.
see right now. He seems to be in total control.
I think you'd have liked the red to bounce a little bit more, so he's forced to play the. Oh,
Foul.
did he
And he
get that or he
actually-
missed it?
No, he missed that. It was a foul.
Oh wow! I
So,
think that's the
2.
commentator's curse right there. You said an unforced error, and he made
Yeah,
one.
it was. With now just 6 points. Earlier, he needed 8 points. With that foul, Saurav got 2 points,
Hey.
and now with this spot, Saurav is going to get the frame.
Wow! And I think Saurav after this spot is going to breathe a huge sigh of relief. Not to take anything away from
6
Pankaj or
end
Saurav,
game.
but generally
Saurav,
2-all
there's
would
a
be an exciting
15 minutes
scoreline
break.
for our viewers as well.
Oh yes, definitely. Something very unseen.
Do you think the ball drifted a bit, or he just misjudged the thin contact?
I don't think the ball drifted. I just think that he parted too much side on the ball. trying to play it as thin as possible. And I think in doing so, just because these tables are so true, I think the side just took the ball away from the cue ball, away from the object ball, and contacted the jaw first, resulting in the foul.
Yes, nevertheless.
Maybe it was a lap of concentration from Pankaj because it's such an easy shot, but I think it was just the side which made the difference here.
Yes, nevertheless, I'm sure Saurav would breathe a huge sigh of relief and would be happy to be 2-all. And with this, we'll take a bit of a break and we'll be back with you shortly for the fifth frame.
A new step towards progress. To become what we imagined. And to make the dreams a reality. Now, it's time to begin with a new address.
Now, and we are taking a short 15-minute recess. It's 3:28 right now. I think it'll be safe to say that by 3:45 we shall be back live. Do tune in then again. Thank you.
Of life and become a proud owner of a modern lifestyle. A landmark development in the growing eastern part of Pune that promises swift access to Kharadi, Viman Nagar, Pune Airport, Magarpatta City and Kalyani Nagar. You also stay at your comfort with all day-to-day conveniences like major hospitals, schools, petrol pumps and banks close to your home. What adds to your advantage are the proposed developments such as the under-construction 6-lane Nagar Road linking Wagholi to Eon IT Park, proposed ring road from Ambegaon to Wagholi, proposed 4-lane flyover linking Wagholi to Shikrapur, and proposed 36-meter wide DP road which offers growth and a bright future. Welcome to Citron Phase 2 at Wagholi. 1 and 2 BHK apartments. Experience a fine mix of lifestyle, space, comfort and quality with your home. Part of the Citron Phase 1, a happy community of 130 plus happy families. The project offers ready infrastructure and amenities. Spread over 5 acres, 15-story L-shaped towers offer 1 and 2 BHK apartments and wide open spaces. Homes that not just take care of functionality but also offer vibrancy, peace and freshness in living. Your life here is imagined through a fine mix of lifestyle features like ready clubhouse, swimming pool, modern gymnasium, multi-purpose court, senior citizen sit-outs, children's play area and community hall. It's a world that promises more than you ever imagined. Growing in parallel to the recent developments, celebrates the modernity of future and the happiness of a perfect opportunity. An address to begin your journey towards fulfillment and become part of a success story. A joint development by Manisha Constructions and Vascon. Life is all about a new start every day. A new step towards progress. to become what we imagined and to make the dreams a reality. Now, it's time to begin with a new address of life and become a proud owner of a modern lifestyle. A landmark development in the growing eastern part of Pune that promises swift access to Kharadi, Viman Nagar, Pune Airport, Magarpatta City and Kalyani Nagar. You also stay at your comfort with all day-to-day conveniences like major hospitals, schools, petrol pumps and banks close to your home. What adds to your advantage are the proposed developments such as the under-construction 6-lane Nagar Road linking Wagholi to Eon IT Park, proposed ring road from Ambegaon to Wagholi, proposed 4-lane flyover linking Wagholi to Shikrapur, and proposed 36-meter wide DP road which offers growth and a bright future. Welcome to Citron Phase 2 at Wagholi. 1 and 2 BHK apartments. Experience a fine mix of lifestyle, space, comfort and quality with your home. Part of the Citron Phase 1, a happy community of 130 plus happy families. The project offers ready infrastructure and amenities. Spread over 5 acres, 15-story L-shaped towers offer 1 and 2 BHK apartments and wide open spaces. Homes that not just take care of functionality but also offer vibrancy, peace and freshness in living. Your life here is imagined through a fine mix of lifestyle features like ready clubhouse, swimming pool, modern gymnasium, multi-purpose court, senior citizen sit-outs, children's play area and community hall. It's a world that promises more than you ever imagined. Growing in parallel to the recent developments, celebrates the modernity of future and the happiness of a perfect opportunity. An address to begin your journey towards fulfillment and become part of a success story. A joint development by Manisha Constructions and Vascon. Life is all about a new start every day. A new step towards progress. To become what we imagined. And to make the dreams a reality. Now, it's time to begin with a new address of life and become a proud owner of a modern lifestyle. A landmark development in the growing eastern part of Pune that promises swift access to Kharadi, Viman Nagar, Pune Airport, Magarpatta City and Kalyani Nagar. You also stay at your comfort with all day-to-day conveniences like major hospitals, schools, petrol pumps and banks close to your home. What adds to your advantage are the proposed developments such as the under-construction 6-lane Nagar Road linking Wagholi to Eon IT Park, proposed ring road from Ambegaon to Wagholi, proposed 4-lane flyover linking Wagholi to Shikrapur, and proposed 36-meter wide DP road, which offers growth and a bright future. Welcome to Citron Phase 2 at Wagholi. 1 and 2 BHK apartments. Experience a fine mix of lifestyle, space, comfort and quality with your home. Part of the Citron Phase 1, a happy community of 130 plus happy families. The project offers ready infrastructure and amenities. Spread over 5 acres, 15-story L-shaped towers offer 1 and 2 BHK apartments and wide open spaces. Homes that not just take care of functionality but also offer vibrancy, peace and freshness in living. Your life here is imagined through a fine mix of lifestyle features like ready clubhouse, swimming pool, modern gymnasium, multi-purpose court, senior citizen sit-outs, children's play area and community hall. It's a world that promises more than you ever imagined. Growing in parallel to the recent developments, celebrates the modernity of future and the happiness of a perfect opportunity. An address to begin your journey towards fulfillment and become part of a success story. A joint development by Manisha Constructions and Vascon. Life is all about a new start every day. A new step towards progress. To become what we imagined. And to make the dreams a reality. Now, it's time to begin with a new address of life and become a proud owner of a modern lifestyle. A landmark development in the growing eastern part of Pune that promises swift access to Kharadi, Viman Nagar, Pune Airport, Magarpatta City and Kalyani Nagar. You also stay at your comfort with all day-to-day conveniences like major hospitals, schools, petrol pumps and banks close to your home. What adds to your advantage are the proposed developments such as the under construction 6-lane Nagar Road linking Wagholi to Eon IT Park, proposed ring road from Ambegaon to Wagholi, proposed 4-lane flyover linking Wagholi to Shikrapur, and proposed 36-meter wide DP road, which offers growth and a bright future. Welcome to Citron Phase 2 at Wagholi. 1 and 2 BHK apartments. Experience a fine mix of lifestyle, space, comfort and quality with your home. Part of the Citron Phase 1, a happy community of 130 plus happy families. The project offers ready infrastructure and amenities. Spread over 5 acres, 15-story L-shaped towers offer 1 and 2 BHK apartments and wide open spaces. Homes that not just take care of functionality but also
3.
Welcome back.
5.
We are back on now on the 5th frame.
Yes, welcome back to all our viewers for the International Billiard Championship final between Saurav Kothari and Pankaj Advani. This is the 5th frame in the best of 9 150 up format. The score is right now 2-all, and an initial chance in the 5th frame for Saurav. The last frame, Saurav made a break of
8.
144 and 142, sorry, and missed an easy drop cannon where he could have played for the long loser, leaving Pankaj on, and Pankaj scored a 60 from there and made a foul with unseen, unforced error, which gave
11.
Saurav a very easy chance to clinch the frame. But thanks to that, the score is 2-all, and we now hope for this final to be even a close one. Than it already is.
Very much so, Nishad. We are right now even Stevens with 2-all, and a lot is going to be decided in this frame, I believe. If the body language
14.
that Saurav is showing right now, he seems pretty confident and pretty much in control of the frame. I think the break has probably given him that extra time that he needs to just compose himself.
16.
And probably just reboot.
Yeah, and again, Saurav taking a little bit of extra time, and he knows the value of gaining a lead over Pankaj, because if you let Pankaj, a champion like Pankaj, get away, he could really get on a roll. So I'm sure Saurav wants to win this frame, or at least make a sizable contribution, because with the scheme
19.
of things, whoever wins this frame will get a slight advantage, in my opinion.
Definitely, Nishad. It seems that Saurav would have wanted the cue ball to roll a little more towards the left cushion.
Saurav.
And
19.
We
with
see
that,
him miss that,
that was very unlikely of Saurav. I don't know what to call it. It might be a bit of lapse in concentration, because that was
Mind
not.
you, Nishad, Saurav had the yellow enough in the pocket. He actually chose to go for the red pot instead. A different choice of play by Saurav.
But at least luckily he's not left much on for Pankaj. Pankaj might have the left enough in the left-hand corner pocket, but it's not a very high percentage shot. So I would be curious to see how if Pankaj plays safe or goes for this shot.
Do you think Pankaj has the enough in the top left pocket?
Yeah, no, that's what I call, but I don't know if it's a very high percentage shot. It's definitely on, but there's a lot of variables. He's playing it against the nap. He's the angle may not be necessarily exactly half ball. It might be a little bit narrower, so he might have to play it a bit of check side, and also the distance between the yellow and the red is a lot. So I'll be curious to see if he attempts this ball. And he did, and he's gotten it, and that's a really good shot. And also the red is landed in a really good position for an off in the center pocket.
He's controlled that fairly well, giving himself a good opportunity now to get into attack mode. A couple of recoveries though, with the cue ball stuck there in a little odd position. I think a couple of in-offs, and I think what he's tried to do is just leave it there for the cannon.
Yes.
And revive the cue ball, the opponent's cue ball, which is sort of cue ball from there. A smart way to get it into play, I believe.
And I think Pankaj, looking at the way he played the last frame, I think he is. I mean, that was just an unforced error that he missed, but I think by the looks of how he's queuing, I think he has a lot of confidence and flow going at the top table. So I think that's the reason why he's wasting no time to get there. And that could be ominous signs for Saurav, to be honest. Again, stunning the red in with authority and...
I'm not too sure if he has the angle he was
13.
looking for. Probably would have to play a little more follow cannon instead of nudging
15.
the white.
He's played it really well there, gathering the balls and bringing the white back for a cannon, but also leaving himself on for the red pot, giving himself options.
That's right, Nishad. Since Pankaj is taking in time, I'd like to take this moment to thank all our sponsors for this lovely event. We have Manisha
17.
Constructions, Vascon Engineering, WADA, which is our water suppliers, our hosts, the venue partners, PYC, Hindu Gymkhana and the Pune Club. And this has been brought to you by the Billiard and Snooker Association of Maharashtra under the aegis of the Billiard and Snooker Federation of India, and with our live telecast supporters, Pratham Management Service Solutions.
20.
We thank all of them for their services and making this a success.
And yes, thanks Rishabh for giving a shout out to our sponsors and the venue partners.
I would also like to mention a special thank you to a few of the PYC members who've made this possible. Mr.
23.
Salil Deshpande, Mr. Rajvardhan Joshi, for the time and support that they've given over these few days. I'm not thanking Mr. Aditya Deshpande because he is a member of our association, and just like me, we are probably just
26.
soldiers here getting this into our flow. But thank you to Aditya as well for all his support.
No, thank you. Thanks to BSM, and the tournament conditions have been great so far, and I'm sure all the players are enjoying playing on these beautiful new tables. With that, coming back to this match, and also sorry, just a quick shout out to our
29.
table partners provided us by Sharma Billiards and Accessories.
31.
The other ones who are proudly providing us all the tables and the accessories for this event.
I'm not sure if you're aware, Nishad, that Sharma
34.
Billiards, owned by Amit Sharma, is a player himself, and he is the vice president of the Delhi Association. He was just elected this year,
37.
and these are his tables. And he was here for the billiards tournament. He was representing Delhi for the main draw, and an enthusiast of the game. And courtesy Sharma, as we read on our screens, we have his tables in the arena.
No, I
Coming
didn't-
back to the game, I think we have Pankaj now on top table. What do you
42.
think about this?
I think he's in prime position with the white ideally set for a
44.
postman's knock position, and it's almost right behind the spot. And the way Pankaj was playing in the last frame, as I was saying earlier, I would be shocked to see him miss and not make a 150. He almost
47.
responded with a with that in the last frame, but missed on 60 with a really unforced error. I was not able to predict that. That was just a glitch.
50.
But looking at where the balls are placed right now, and the way Pankaj is queuing and the way he is flowing,
52.
it'll be very shocking for me to see him miss or give a chance to Saurav in this frame again. And again, I would like to mention to our viewers, this style of play, postman's knock, which the
55.
legendary Geet Sethi perfected and scored heavily, also scoring a break of 1-2-7-6
57.
during his time with this style of play. It can be very lethal because the sequence of this style of play is 2 pots and a cannon,
60.
which is 3, 3 and 2, which is an 8 points, and you can score in quick succession, and within no time
62.
the player can amass a huge points on the scoreboard. And also another thing that I would like to point out is if the player misses or goes out of position, the opponent's cue ball is stuck tightly to the bottom cushion, and very likely,
65.
most probably they don't get a shot on, and that can be very infuriating if you're the opponent
67.
and someone does that to you.
That's right, Nishad. From the viewer's perspective, I would hope
70.
that Pankaj makes the unfinished.
72.
Makes the unfinished with a postman's knock. Just a different variant of this top table that you mentioned.
And now
75.
as we speak, his break is approaching the magic figure of 80, and after 80
78.
yes, as I said, the break is approaching 80, and immediately Pankaj has decided not to disturb the white. He went for the 2 pots instead, and
81.
he's going to
Balk line
cross the
warning.
balk line using this unconventional method by potting it off the blue spot. And he's wasted no time there. He's gone there at his first opportunity, and with that pot, he's successfully crossed the balk line, leaving himself on for another pot.
84. Balk line cross.
That's right, Nishad. I'm pretty excited that we're getting to see a postman's knock right now. That white
87.
ball hasn't moved from there much. It's just getting tapped over and over, and this is
89.
the kind of feeling that the opponent has. Being there helpless.
Yes, and I would like to point out our viewers, looking at the way
92.
Pankaj is playing with almost 1 or 2 cueings and just 1 or 2 addresses to the ball and just tapping the ball. This might look extremely easy, but make no mistakes, this is extremely difficult. It is extremely skillful and takes years of practice
95.
and honing your craft to keep that white ball stuck on the cushion. Every shot is played with
97.
variants of side, and to make sure that the white ball is stuck there, and also it is essential to control the pot and the yellow in such a position where the position is maintained.
100.
So this is another deceptive nature of billiards. The easier it looks, the harder it is, and
102.
that's another reason we love this sport.
A good touch there by Pankaj. A soft one. Keeping
105.
him on top table with the option of the cannon.
107.
And with that, Pankaj leaving himself on for a red in off in the left hand corner pocket. Again, since the white is almost stuck to the bottom
110.
cushion, should be able to play the drop cannon. The key here is the contact on the white. He needs to get a fuller contact on the white and control the red. That's the key to this shot. And I don't think that worked out
112.
well for Pankaj.
Not as he expected. Will be interesting to see if he has the follow cannon now, because the white may be, or rather the yellow. It seems that he's going off the cushion.
Yes, he's going off the cushion with a little bit of right inside, and he played it really well there. That was
a good
140.
recovery
that
by
was a good
Pankaj.
recovery, yes. And now he's left himself on with the screwing off of the white in the left hand corner pocket. Just a little bit of pocket side to help the cue ball go in the pocket. And he's controlled the white really well there for a
116.
center in off.
A center and off by Pankaj.
Again,
He's trying to build that angle, I
118.
feel, for the drop cannon.
Again, I think he wanted the white to come more to the center, but he is okay because he still has a cannon to the red with a little bit of side, and he played it really well. The key to that
120.
shot was again controlling the contact on the red, and he did it and he judged it to perfection.
He's now, I believe, just evaluating his options of the in-off from the balk. He may have an option of playing a double shot on the red and following it into the in-off, or rather into the pocket for the in-off, and then he would probably take the in-off from the balk area. So just being sure of that shot.
I think he'll probably play the screw pot or the stun pot, and I think that's what he's went for because of where the white is. Because now he's left himself three options. He can run through and play the cannon. He can play the white in off. He can also play another pot. So again, the key
123.
to building a good break for players like Pankaj is leaving yourself options. And again, leaving himself options for a pot or a white and off. And by the
126.
looks of it, is going for a white and off the right hand corner pocket, and is going to leave himself for a drop cannon. And he's played that really well.
128.
Judged the white speed to perfection.
With just now 24 points away, it seems a pretty easy, or rather 22 points away. It seems like a rather easy target now. Being in control, being on
130.
top table, just pushing the balls around here and there. I think he should be easily clinching this frame to take the lead 3-1 in the match, 3-2 in the match.
3-2, yes, definitely. But as he said, a little bit of exhibition shot there by Pankaj. Or he didn't play it, he was seeing if he could do that. I think he didn't get the desired contact on the drop cannon, and he's forced himself to play a thin cannon with the rest. But I think if he gets that, he should be fine. And now with just 17 points away to clinch this fifth frame,
132.
he
An
is
important pot, this one, the
Yes.
red. Slightly on the negative in terms of the angle. So never easy.
But I'll be shocked with the player of Pankaj's standard to miss this. And he played that really well. Now Pankaj
135.
probably can screw back or stun back the pot and bring the yellow to the same side and bring it in a position where he could play the mini drop cannon. Or he could follow the pot and go on the other side if the red passes the white and play another pot. He really has options from this position.
Seems like he's stunning this pot again.
Oh,
That is
that is
an
unbelievable.
unforced error.
135.
I can
And-
only call that a lapse in concentration.
I mean, as a viewer, the way he was cueing, it felt as if he's stunning the ball. But he may have a change in his thought process last minute, and probably try to follow it with that same cueing. And in the midst, he's just missed the ball completely.
I think this is exactly what happened in the last frame. Saurav made a break of 142, and then as he got closer to the finish line of clinching the frame, anxiety got the better of him, and probably this happened with Pankaj, showing us that he is
6.
human after all. And this is a good chance for Saurav to make an
8.
a sizable contribution, and I'm sure he would want to win this frame in this visit. And if he's able to do that, that would put tremendous pressure.
I believe
on
so,
Pankaj.
Nishad. I think this is very crucial, and this frame is very
Yeah.
crucial for Saurav now. He needs to somehow collect those 120 points and get this frame under his belt. Because if that happens, it'll psychologically make a big difference on both their mindsets,
40.
Pankaj as well as Saurav. And as you said, there's no exception to
16.
anxiety. Everyone feels it, the nerves. However good you are at your skill, at the end of the day, it is a human tendency to
19.
feel the little nerve, feel that little anxiety. and we just saw something similar right now. A good shot
21.
by Saurav right now.
A very delicate cannon, controlled the thin contact on the red and judged it to perfection. Again, as we've
23.
been saying all along, if a player misses on top table, he's bound to leave his opponent in a very good position, and that's what exactly happened in this visit. And Saurav
26.
hopefully will make the most of it. Oh,
Saurav 26.
again,
Missing shots off the spot is unforgivable at this level of the game. Both the champions giving each other chances due to unforced errors. An unlikely scene for both, and it's happening in the same frame, which is even surprising.
yes, I think it's as the match progresses and as it gets tighter and tighter. Really, it's all usually up to the player who holds his nerve the best is usually the one who comes out on top. And right now, that's what's happening. Let's see who is able to recollect themselves and make the most of it.
So Pankaj going for that safety shot, and pretty well played. There is a tendency of these players to go for these kind of cannons. It's a well calculated risk, but with the scores reading 2-all, and with Pankaj so close to winning the fifth frame, I don't think Saurav is going to go for any fancy shot at this point. He would probably just reply with safety, and we see him do just the same.
Yes, especially since the red is so tight on the cushion, it would be hard to play any shot off of it unless there's a cannon left on. And also, owing to the scoreboard and the situation in the match, Pankaj really doesn't need to, since he's the front runner in this frame, it's Saurav who needs to do the hard work. So, he's just not taking any chances and making Saurav go for the half percentage shot. I think that would be his game plan.
Correct, Nishad. I think Pankaj needs to just exhibit some patience right now, because even if he sells, it's not easy building those points for Saurav. Both, I think, are assessing that both are under pressure, and it's never easy under pressure.
With
I think
Pankaj has left Saurav with a tempting run through. These shots are not easy, make no mistake. And Saurav went for the cannon as we predicted before. And with that, he's left Pankaj on with a cannon.
it's a relatively easy cannon, a little thin on the in contact with the white, and I think it should just give him top table directly.
Ooh, and he got it just.
Two.
Yet some work to do.
Yes.
Do you think Pankaj has a cannon from a cushion cannon
Yes.
off the top table?
He definitely has a cannon, a half ball cannon off the bottom cushion down for the red, but it's not easy. It's not easy, and if he goes for it and if he misses it, he's bound to leave Saurav on. And given the situation, I don't think he needs to go for it. I think he should again show some patience and let Saurav do the hard work.
That's right, Nishad. I think this is now calling for some tactical play, and Pankaj should try to hold on to his nerves, and and he can afford to do that purely because the red is so high up in the cushion that is never an easy pot.
And he's done exactly that. Pankaj has opted for the
Two.
safer option and has left all three balls on three different cushions. There's none more ideal safety in billiards than that.
Well, the one shot I can definitely see is giving a lot of right inside and hitting the ball hard, the yellow hard. And you see that beautiful shot which actually just swerves into the other side. But I don't think that it fits this situation right now.
No, it doesn't. Both players, happy to do the tactical exchange given the situation. And I think, especially since the red is placed in such an awkward position, tight against the side left cushion near the top of the table, it's very hard to generate any shots from the red. So I don't see any of them going for a shot unless they feel they can definitely get the cannon.
That's right, Nishad. I think it's just a matter of patience right now. Both need to look for that opening, and it has to be a percentage game. Just like how Pankaj is trying to assess the best possible safety shot that he could play, and I think he's done a fairly good job right now, and I think Saurav is just going to reply with a simple tap on the yellow again, pushing it towards the pocket.
Yes, the key to these exchanges is who can leave as much distance between both the balls as possible, and also try to get the opponent's cue ball as tight on the cushion as possible. That's the key to these safety exchanges, which leaves difficult positions for your opponent to play. Again, Pankaj assessing where he exactly needs to leave Saurav's white ball before he plays this shot, taking his time.
A little lapse in concentration here by any of these players can result in selling.
He's gone for the enough. And
But
that's
what a
brilliant-
beautiful shot by Pankaj. And
That's
definitely
true.
I think he should seal this frame now. Just 11 points away from victory in the fifth frame. I think a simple cannon should do the trick. Probably just promote the red towards the pocket, and I think
And
he should
there-
be able to clinch it.
Very rightly said, Rishabh, and there you go. We saw the brilliance of Pankaj Advani. He went against all our predictions, and showed us what a shot-making ability that he has, and really went for that shot and
Four.
got it to perfection. He took his time, and now it's just a matter of 3 more shots before he clinches the fifth frame.
Just 2 spots, 2 reds off the spot should give him
Seven.
this frame. His score now is 144. 3 more, making it 147. The maximum in a snooker.
10.
Yes.
13. And again,
And that's straight
Pankaj.
for Pankaj.
And with that, Pankaj clinches the crucial fifth frame, and the score now is 3-2 in favor of Pankaj.
In this kind of environment with a little bit of cold, people do tend to feel the need to visit the restrooms.
And Pankaj breaking it off in the sixth frame.
This is one shot which is always deceptive. You need to play this with a lot of side, because if you don't, if you're going for a cannon, that is, if you don't, then there is always a chance of a double kiss. What Saurav tried to do right now was try and pot Pankaj's ball so that he could double block him and do the needful.
Yes, and he's left Pankaj with a difficult red pot across the length of the table, and
But
also
he
a
was
cannon.
considering, Pankaj, he was considering the red pot, but has changed his mind, is now going for a cannon.
Cannon is not easy actually.
Definitely not, especially when it's against the nap. It starts drifting away from the pocket. So always better to have a thinner contact and let the drift do the trick.
And also, when the red is placed not near to the cushions, there's a greater chance of the yellow just sort of missing the red and going past. And that's what happened. He left Saurav with a pot, which Saurav is taken, and now he would have liked his white to be slightly higher so that he could get the in-off. But I believe the in-off still might be on with check side.
And with the yellow towards the balk, I think he can play this fairly easy and with freely rather.
And he's played that well and brought the red to the center of the table. Now he's got an in-off off the yellow in the left center pocket. And all the balls in play. He's actually refusing and opting for the red in-off instead. No, he's changed his mind again.
Saurav has two options here, either to go for the in-off or go for a cannon. If he's going for the cannon, he needs to ensure that Pankaj's cue ball is not hitting the jaws, because then he would not know the flow of the ball. In case he's going for an in-off, then or he's completely changed his mind and he's gone for the long loser.
I think he really wants to bring both the balls to the center. I think that's what he's trying to do. I think that's the reason he played the red in-off first, and now he's playing the yellow in-off in the center.
He's now probably going to develop the top table from here.
Yes,
pretty
rightly
soft in that approach.
11.
Maybe the angles didn't allow him to play it faster. Now going for, what do you think, a cannon or going for a center in off?
I think he's looking, the way he's placed it, I think he's looking at the red in off in the center with a bit of left hand side. Oh no, he played the cannon. And I think that turned out to be
13.
Fairly decent.
Fairly decent, but a bit awkward.
Yeah, a little awkward, but a lot of work to do now. He doesn't have the cannon from the red to the yellow, but the other way around. Is going to actually push the yellow back towards the balk.
You know, that's the thing I've been noticing in the last two frames. The Saurav that we've been seeing the whole tournament. I think he would have played the red in off in the center or the yellow in off in the corner pocket and play for the higher percentage shot and not opt for the drop cannon. But since the last two frames, he's changed that
50.
slightly. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's there is a change in circumstance, and I think he's trying to adapt to that.
But again, that he ran out
15.
of position and was forced to play the thin red and off with left hand side in the corner pocket. Not easy shot at all, and he's missed it. And he's not left Pankaj on with something super easy, but he has a cannon, a stun cannon on. All he needs to do is control the speed of the red.
It's going to be interesting to see how and where he controls the red. Does he leave it there, or he tries to bring it towards the center? He's tried to bring it towards the center, but not enough. But he would have an in-off in the center from here, from this angle. It seems so. Probably a little bit of side can do the trick and send the red towards the white ball.
Yes.
And
he played it the forcing way, and he played it really well. But again, he would have liked the red to run a bit more.
what do you think of this, Nisha? Do you think he's trying to, he anticipated the red ball cannoning the white, or he just fell short in terms of strength?
I think he fell short in terms of strength, and now he's forced to play the check side in off, which he played really well and has controlled the red, leaving himself on for a cannon.
8.
These cannons can be fairly deceptive,
Especially on these sliding cushions.
Yeah.
But if played well, it can really reap some good results, because it is the natural tendency of the balls to go towards top table.
10.
Yes. And he's played it really well there, and also
and the
a bit of fortune.
And the fortunate little tap on the white from the red. He's played that well, slightly thicker,
12.
ensuring that he's getting the red pot. And probably he could now develop top table from here. Just trying to check the angles. Probably he's trying to check if after he has a white enough after the red pot, so he could stay there and try and go for the drop cannon.
Yes, I think he's assessing his options. He has two options. He could pot the red and follow through to go and keep himself for a mini drop cannon, or he can stun the ball and keep himself for a wide enough. I think I've opted for option 1, and he's left himself on for a pot.
15.
He actually probably now fancies stunning this ball. This is a similar shot that he missed in the previous frame. I'm sure he would have that at the back of his mind. And he has changed his shot though. He's gone for the unconventional cannon.
17.
Maybe the previous shot that he missed played on the back of his mind.
Yes, and I think Pankaj is really playing a percentage game of his own style. The reason he played the shot, I feel, is to control the contact on the red, and very unconventional but very effective.
20.
And again, this is the one thing about Pankaj. If he's not flowing on top table, he's really happy to play the all-round game.
23.
We saw that yesterday in the 4th frame, or I believe the 3rd frame. It was slightly scrappy for Pankaj's standards, and all he was doing was just making the long losers and the short and offs, and just try to stay on the table, try to occupy as much time, and just got closer to his target.
And yes, again, playing the
26.
long loser with slow speed and confidence in controlling the red for a cannon off the white. Trying to push the red towards the left-hand corner pocket and bring the white
28.
back into play. And he's played that pretty well. And again, as we
31.
were saying before, Pankaj very much happy to not play top table but just keep on scoring and continue the break. And that's another great quality of a champion, to understand the flow of
34.
your own game and also the situation and adapt quickly accordingly.
Very much, Nishad. One must know
36.
his strengths and weaknesses and play accordingly, and especially when circumstances keep changing in a match, you need to rely on your strengths more than just trying to play the right game.
39.
Sometimes it's just important to be comfortable in whatever they're doing.
Forty-two.
And again, Pankaj opting for a slightly unconventional shot, leaving himself on for the white and off.
नहीं मेरे पास
And
नहीं
he's
है, मैंने उनको
controlled that
link
and
भेज
off
दिया।
pretty well. He's brought the white for a drop cannon.
उनको लिंक भेज दिया मैंने।
Again, the key to this shot is the contact on the red, which he's judged to perfection, and he would have liked the
46.
red to run a bit more, but since the white and the red are so close together, it's absolutely fine. Again, played it really well with the rest.
48. $51. $54.
With that, it seems
56.
like Pankaj has regained his flow and is back in prime position on the top table. And I'm sure with this, Pankaj would want to place
59.
this frame in this visit and go 4-2 ahead.
61. $64.
It ideally plays for postman's knock position, and Pankaj, good exponent of that. We've
67.
seen that in previous games. I'm sure his focus now is to not miss a shot and win
69.
this frame in this visit. I'm sure he wants Saurav to sit in that chair. If he manages to do that, he'll go 4-2 ahead in the best of 9 final,
72.
with just needing one more frame to win the 2020 International Billiards Championship.
74.
And again, Pankaj not taking any chances there. He had the option of screwing the yellow
77.
back, but has opted for the safer option, the higher percentage shot instead, leaving himself for a 369 in off. And he's judged that to perfection, leaving himself
80.
on
Balkline warning.
the option of a red pot and also a center in off. I believe he's playing the red pot. And he's played it really well there.
Yes, Nishad, he's back on top table, doing what he does best.
83.
Scoring, staying busy, and just heading towards victory. I think that gives him the balk line cross.
With that, that was a very
That
unconventional.
would have been unfortunate if he would have
86.
gone in
Balkline
off
cross.
as well. But now he's got a relatively easy cannon to make.
But that shows the confidence that Pankaj is feeling right now. He
88.
decided to cross the balk line when the red was on the spot, and he did that beautifully. He might have not got the yellow exactly where he wanted, but still he's in position. He has a red and off in the right hand corner pocket, and also all the options available. He has a white and off in the left
91.
hand corner pocket, and the red is in play. So I don't see Pankaj missing from this position.
I don't see it too. I think he's going to be fairly in control now of this game. Stunning that ball, trying to come on the left side of the table, but not as he expected.
94.
I think he overran the yellow ball there. I think he didn't want that at all. I don't know if he can play a follow cannon, and if the white goes past the red, I can't say for sure from the camera angle. But if not, he's in trouble.
Yeah, I think the way he's raising his bridge. It seems that he's wanting to make the white and off in the right pocket, right bottom pocket.
Yes, I think so. I think he's going for the shot, but it's not easy. It's not. Make no mistake. This is a difficult shot. Oh, he's decided to play safe instead.
Pankaj.
Correct.
94.
Again, good tactical awareness by Pankaj there, choosing for the higher percentage of shot and not, going for a shot to continue his break and make a century break, but instead putting pressure on Saurav.
That's right. Saurav now just assessing his options. There is a in off available on the left pocket with a lot of left side and a stun. He should get it, but I think he just overdid the strength of the shot.
Again, though, I think these shots under the circumstances, especially when you're trailing and behind in this frame as well, are not easy. And I think that's what Pankaj was exactly banking on. But Saurav, I think, has been a bit more fortunate by not leaving Pankaj any easy opening. So let's see what Pankaj opts to do here.
I don't think the red is potable in the left bottom pocket.
No,
I
it's-
think the white is in the way.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
the only option he would be having is trying to stun for an in-off or then play safe.
Yeah, I believe he's looking at the stun in off option, but he probably will play safe given the circumstances. again, Pankaj really smart, recognizing the situation, and he's making sure Saurav does all the hard work. It's
That's
Saurav
right.
who needs to pull off a brilliant shot. Pankaj is playing to just 2% at the moment.
That's correct, Nishad. I do see an angle for a cannon here, a one cushion cannon, but Saurav's not taking that chance at all. He's going to reply with another safety shot, but just rethinking his option once again.
Yeah, I think I don't know if the cannon is a good option here. He could attempt the yellow in off in the top corner pocket, but still I don't think that is a good option either. I think he attempted that, and he's got it. That's a
he's played
brilliant
really
shot.
well.
That's a brilliant shot.
2.
And
It's never easy playing
never.
that in off against the nap, because the ball tends to go away from the pocket.
Yes, never easy. And if you miss it in the jaw, you're more likely bound to leave an in-off on for your opponent. But he played it really well there, and full credit to him. He's left himself with a easy cannon. All he needs to do is to control the contact on the red. Oh my God, he's missed it.
So 2.
That was unexpected after the brilliant shot that he pulled
This
off.
is the second time we've seen him miss a standard cannon.
I think the scoreboard pressure is getting to Saurav at the moment.
2.
But again, Pankaj playing that cannon, he would have liked a thicker contact on the red and wanted to push the red towards the pocket, but he got it thinner instead, and now again he's going to have to play safe.
Seems so, Nishad. Safety is the need of the hour for Pankaj. He
Pankaj,
is
2.
leading in this frame, and he wouldn't want to make any errors at this time, because he knows that Saurav is pretty capable of finishing this frame with an unfinished break.
And Saurav assessing his options. Looks like he's going for the cannon. And he's got it there. That's a brilliant shot. That was actually very brave for him to attempt that shot, especially after having missed such an easy opportunity in the previous visit.
That's right.
And I think let's see if he's able to pull himself together and
think
forget
he would
what
now-
happened in the last visit.
I think he would now want to go one cushion cannon and promote the red towards the pocket, the center pocket.
4.
I believe he's slightly short in terms of strength, but a tricky shot.
Yes, this is a very tricky shot. This is not easy. This is missable. I think he also has a slightly more conservative option by potting the yellow and then double balking Pankaj. But let's see what option does he go for.
Or he has another option of making a cannon from the yellow to the red, one cushion, and probably two cushions, just for insurance. But let's see what he has in mind.
Oh, he went for the shot you called, but I don't know if
Sort
that
of
was the right
4.
shot given the circumstances. But again, we have the benefit of hindsight here.
Correct, and I think he's definitely left Pankaj on with a wide enough in that left pocket that we see on our screens. A little,
yes, by the
a
looks
little
of it,
tricky to cue, but I think he has that shot to make.
yes, the way Pankaj got down immediately, it was clear that the in-off was on.
Actually, he's controlled it pretty well.
He did
to
it
bring
really
the cue
well,
ball back
actually.
in the center, and I
2.
think he should now take this frame definitely.
Again, the key here is to control the white in such a way that it gets closer to the red, so that he's able to bring the red back into play.
Seems to be a two cushion shot
And
back in the
now-
center, and he has, and I think now a long loser.
I think he has the.
But he has a center in off right
yes.
now, and he has an easier way of sending the white back to the top cushion, and he could bring the red into play with the drop cannon.
Yes, I think he's just judging where he needs to send his white after the in-off, and think he's going to opt for the drop cannon option. I think he went for the safer option instead and brought the white back. And now he's
Six.
going to play a cannon, a bit unconventional, I must say. But
I agree with that.
But you know, Pankaj being Pankaj, he has his own style.
Eight.
And with that, I don't know if he's covered himself. But the cannon looks like he has.
Seems so. It seems so that he doesn't have the red pot as an option, and he is definitely going to struggle from this point, even for a safety shot.
Clearly, both these players changing their mind and opting for different options than they usually would clearly seems to show that how much is at stake here.
The national title, which are a big one.
Eight.
And Pankaj opting for the safer option. I don't think there's much on for Saurav other than a red in off, but it's not easy. But I believe he'll probably play safe.
He seems to be just going for a safety shot, is it? Or
Enough.
is it just, no, he's
Yes,
going
he
for
did
the
go
in-off.
for the
He
in-off,
He called it
and,
right. And that's unfortunate.
That's unfortunate, yes. That's very unfortunate. But now at least he has the red in off on in the center. He can screw it and not worry too much about where the red is, because eventually he has to double block him.
So tell me, Nishad, he made the in-off, and the opponent's ball also got potted in the same pocket. If the referee,
Eight.
by mistake, gives the player the wrong ball, and the player plays with the wrong ball, whose mistake is it? Is it the referee, or is it the player playing and not realizing or recognizing the mistake?
I think it's a
Miss.
tricky one there.
Pankaj.
That's a
Two.
a trick question. But I think, as far as I know, I think it's the player's fault.
Very much, very much.
And they have to make sure they're playing with the right ball.
The player always has to be attentive for all these silly mistakes, and the referee can never be accounted for such errors.
And this position is
Miss.
called the double balk.
Saurav,
Just for our
two.
information for our viewers who are new to the game of billiards, if the opponent pots your handball and leaves both the ball inside the balk line, you can't play behind the line.
That's correct.
And that's the reason why Pankaj opted to just push the ball outside the line and leave Saurav in a difficult position.
Are we going to see a sixer, an in-off and a pot?
That's a brilliant shot by
No,
Saurav.
he just had the angle for the in-off, and he's played that really well.
Three.
With good speed. He's got the red pot now, and I think he can get back to. Probably from here he would lead himself on for an in-off with the red, and then try and revive the yellow.
Yes, all his efforts now will be getting the red as close to the yellow as possible by playing a multitude of pots and in-offs. And the quicker he does that, the quicker he'll be able to get the yellow into play, and that's the
That's
only
right.
way he can make a sizable break.
But I think Saurav just got both of us on the wrong
Six.
foot. He actually went for the red pot. I think what he's now trying to do is trying to make two red pots and leave himself at an angle where he can actually have the cannon on the yellow.
Yes, absolutely. And
Nine.
this is a slightly unconventional way of playing it, because a pure billiards player would want to bring it, have a handball and bring the red closer to the yellow as possible, because that offers him more control. But in this case, given the situation of the game, Saurav probably has decided to go for the higher percentage option. But the trick here can be, controlling the contact on the yellow, and it's never easy where the red and the yellow might end up after he gets this cannon.
True, very true. Because it's a different scenario when you're trying to cannon into the balk area. All the balls need to be active. When you're cannoning against the balk area, it doesn't really matter till the time you're getting the cannon, because now he has to get both the balls back into play, and as we see it, he only has a red pot as an option for now.
And mind you, the red pot is not easy at all, given the situation. But you know, I wouldn't bank against Saurav. Getting is an excellent snooker player, but given the situation is difficult. Look, he's looking at if he can get the cannon, but I don't think that's on. He's going to have to be forced to play the pot. And he's played it well, but again now he's left himself with a run through in off the yellow.
Seems like he's played it for
17.
that shot only. A beautiful shot, this one.
Can be difficult to play against the map though. And yes, he's missed it. And he's left
Saurav,
Pankaj on
17.
with
He's left Pankaj on with both the in-offs, the white as well as the red. And I'm sure he's going to go for the white first because it needs to come out of the balk line. The red is a standard in-off.
I think he has to play the white forcefully, so he has to bring it in and out of balk, given the angle. And he's played it really well. But I think he misjudged the speed there.
2.
Oh wow.
He
that's
is going
just
for the
out.
cannon now.
The white is just outside the balk line, and he should be able to make this cannon. Pankaj needs another 42 points to win this frame and get a 4-2 lead in this final. Wow, getting a really thin contact
4.
on the red. I don't think he intended it to be this thin, but I think it's worked out in his favor.
Very much so, Nishad. It's going to be interesting to see now how he approaches this entire set of balls
So,
with the white high up on that cushion there.
I think his approach now, since he's only about 35 odd
10.
points to get to win this frame, would be to score as much as on the red as possible and try to bring the white back into play without taking too much risks. And I'm sure Pankaj is aware of that and is going to try to do that. Just as a curious question, I believe Pankaj didn't play the nationals last year,
30.
and Sri Krishna was the champion. So this is sort of a comeback for Pankaj.
Very much so. Pankaj was missing from the national scene last year, and we had a junior
16.
who actually won the senior title, which is commendable. Sri Krishna from Tamil Nadu. He exhibited some brilliant billiards,
19.
a lot of fluency in his game, a lot of fluency in his thought actually, because the speed at which he was playing, he was very much sure of what he's doing and the kind of routines that he was opting for. He was very clear in his approach, and it's
21.
very heartening and overwhelming to see a junior win a senior title.
Yes, yes, very rightly said. And I believe Sri Krishna probably might be the first junior to win the senior national title after Pankaj.
24.
I don't think anyone in between.
I believe so. I
and
believe so.
which is highly commendable and shows great promise for the future. And I think he did really well in this nationals as well. He won the junior billiards title, and he placed 7th in this tournament. He lost to
27.
Dhwaj in a very keenly, closely contested match, where he was leading 3-1 and he lost 4-3. But
And he
you
was
know,
3
kudos
points.
to
and
kudos to the
he was
youngster.
3 points away from booking his berth in the top 4
29.
and playing the semi-finals. But he faltered on a red pot, and that cost him the match and the rank as well.
But nonetheless, I'm sure he's young and he'll learn from this loss, and we'll see a much stronger Sri Krishna in the future.
Definitely.
31.
A very young lad and a very simple guy too. We've had a couple of interactions, and a very loving and lovable person. He is always supported by his parents. His parents are also very enthusiastic about this game. They travel with him. His
33.
father, Mr. Surya Narayan, is always recording all his matches and That's something which is so commendable, that even after winning the nationals, he yet comes with his entire set of cameras and he's recording every match of Sri Krishna, because there's always something to learn and always something to take back from the game. And it's fantastic that he has his parents supporting him in so many ways.
Yes, that's a really good story there.
35.
Coming back to our match, Pankaj deciding to opt for the white pot because I think he just needs a few more points to clinch this frame and make
Just
it
two more
4-2.
shots off the red now.
Yes, and with that
38.
score will be 4-2 in Pankaj's favor, with just one frame needed for him to clinch this final. From here, Saurav will have to go all out, I believe,
41.
because it's really nothing for him to lose, and he really needs to go for all his shots.
Definitely, Nishad. It's going to be 5-2 now in 4-2, sorry,
44.
in
Same game.
Pankaj's favor.
Pankaj.
And Pankaj being just one frame away from the title.
And with that, we'll take a quick 2-minute break and we'll be back with you shortly.
Life is all about a new start every day. A new step towards progress. To become what we imagined. And to make the dreams a reality. Now, it's time to begin with a new address of life and become a proud owner of a modern lifestyle. A landmark development in the growing eastern part of Pune that promises swift access to Kharadi, Viman Nagar, Pune Airport, Magarpatta City and Kalyani Nagar. You also stay at your comfort with all day-to-day conveniences like major hospitals, schools, petrol pumps and banks close to your home. What adds to your advantage are the proposed developments such as the under-construction 6-lane Nagar Road linking Wagholi to Eon IT Park, proposed ring road from Ambegaon to Wagholi, proposed 4-lane flyover linking Wagholi to Shikrapur, and proposed 36-meter wide DP road which offers growth and a bright future. Welcome to Citron Phase 2 at Wagholi. 1 and 2 BHK apartments. Experience a fine mix of lifestyle, space, comfort and quality with your home. Part of the Citron Phase 1, a happy community of 130 plus happy families. The project offers ready infrastructure and amenities. Spread over 5 acres, 15-story L-shaped towers offer 1 and 2.
With that, sort of breaking off in the 7th frame. The score now 4-2 in Pankaj's favor. Just needing one more frame to win this final. And a good break off there by Saurav, with his yellow being tight on the left cushion. Anyone watching, that's the ideal way to break off, and also the red ideally placed for an in-off if Pankaj shows him the ball. But Pankaj again brilliantly potting that wide
2.
because it was tight against the cushion. And double balking Saurav now in this position.
Pankaj 2.
A very well played shot by Pankaj. Playing against the nap, the ball tends to move to the other side. I'm sure he would have given the extra space that he needs and accounting for the drift and hitting the ball extremely well and ensuring that he's on for his next shot.
And Saurav really going for that red because the in-off was on and making really good contact on the red. The whole object of that shot was to disturb the red and hope for the best. And it's worked out in his favor. He's not left anything on easy on for Pankaj. I think Pankaj is probably playing the cannon. Yes, Pankaj tried to attempt the cannon and he's missed it. But again, being a bit fortunate, he's not left anything easy on for Saurav. Probably a in-off in the center pocket, a thin in-off of the yellow in the center pocket, or a cannon, a follow cannon from yellow to red.
That's right, Nishad. I think I just see one option for Saurav, and which is not a standard shot. It's going to be difficult. He does have a cannon option as well, but I'm not sure what he's doing right now.
I think he played the cannon and he's missed it. It was not easy, but unfortunately now he's left Pankaj on with the easy half ball cannon.
Very much so. And I think with the right kind of speed, Pankaj should be able to send the red towards the center.
And
2.
So we have our Vice President, Mr. Saumil Karkera now in the commentary box. We'd like to ask a few questions to him. He's just stepped out right now, but we'll have him back soon.
Pankaj 2.
A couple of exchanges of safety right now. Both players need to tread very carefully. Both capable of hitting the 150s. Both capable of hitting shots that are unconventional and at the same time building breaks, constructing breaks out of nowhere.
yes, and I think time is really running out for Saurav in this match. I don't think he can afford to make any more mistakes. He really will have to play to the highest standard now to make a comeback in this match, and will have to cash in on all the opportunities that he gets.
Very much so, Nishad. He has left Saurav, or rather Pankaj, with a standard cannon off the cushion, but Pankaj is taking his time. Not one of the best shots by Pankaj, leaving Saurav on for a follow cannon.
Yes, the key here is to avoid the double kiss on the red, which he has, and I think he would have liked the red to be much more closer to the pocket, but I think he should be fine because he still should have the screw in off in the left hand corner pocket. the key now to this shot is controlling the speed on the red. Do you think he'll play it in and out, or he'll try to control it towards the center of the table?
I think his priority should be making that shot and not controlling the red.
Serve.
But
Two.
I believe he is trying to control the red ball as well, and has resulted in him missing that shot. This could very well be the title for Pankaj now.
Yeah.
With the way the balls are placed, he could
Two.
be totally in command, and he could finish this in a couple of minutes now.
Yes, absolutely, and I'm sure Pankaj would also want to finish with a flourish and end on a high
Four.
for this championship. He has played to a really high standard. In fact, both players have played to a really high standard until this final. Both of them just losing one
Six.
frame in the course of the championship, and both of them getting multiple 100 breaks over the whole tournament. And we were hoping for a more closely contested final. It was until 2-all, but Pankaj has taken the last two frame and has the edge now, and also with the way the balls are placed, is ideally placed to not allow Saurav to be back in this
Well.
final at all. But I'm sure Saurav will be hoping for another chance.
Definitely,
14.
Nishad. I think the numbers are now in favor of Pankaj. He has the edge with 2 frames extra in his pocket, and now with being on top table, I think he's on the top of things. It's only a matter of him
17.
executing this entire play of top table. He has the skill, he has
19.
the capability, he has the temperament, the aptitude, and the will. All he needs is a little bit of patience to get to the other side of the line, and I think we should
22.
have a champion soon.
Yes, definitely. And the way Pankaj is playing, clearly he is keen to make a sizable break on top table. Looks
25.
like he doesn't want to leave top at the moment. But I think he would have liked the yellow to be a bit more closer to the white and slightly closer to the top cushion. He's going to have to force to be playing the stun cannon.
This is a beautiful shot, Nishad. It just needs the right amount of side and the
27.
right amount of strength. It's never easy to control the yellow ball, but the contact on the red is extremely important. We saw that he didn't really get the best of connections,
29.
but he's ensured that he's now stayed on for a white in-off after that cannon, and he should be bringing that white towards the center. And as we see, he's now
31.
left with a fairly simple cannon. The idea would now be to promote the red towards the pocket. Will he take the red 2 cushion or 1 cushion is something that we need to see. He's gone 2 cushion there.
33.
He's trying to ensure that the white has gone back towards top table, and that's one area where all champions flourish. And
Yes, very much so. And in that shot,
36.
clearly he controlled all the 3 balls. And whenever a player controls or tries to control all 3 balls and executes that, that's ominous. That's ominous for the opponent. And now I think Pankaj would have liked to stay for the pot. He was forced to play the thin and off, but again, because where the white is placed, all he needed to do was just make sure of the
39.
in-off, and he had an automatic drop cannon.
the contact on the white now is going to be extremely important. If it's thicker, it's the best.
And I think he couldn't have
41.
played that any better. That was amazing. Played there.
Definitely.
Also, he controlled the red to perfection, leaving himself for a very easy pot. He has options. He could follow the red and leave himself for a 369 in off, or even a cannon, or he could screw back the red and play for another pot.
That's right, Nishad. I think you've assessed all the options really well. Let's see what our champion does.
Yes, I think he went for a stun run through, pot to create the slight angle
44.
needed to play the cannon off the white, and he's judged that well.
46.
A couple of recovery shots now by Pankaj. Probably a couple of taps to the left and the right of the balls. He needs to ensure that he's always on at least
48.
one of the two, preferably the red pot or an in-off from either of the balls. Do you think he's going to go for a double shot right now? Or do you think he's going to pot and try and come back for another pot?
I think he's going to, yes, I think he's going to pot and try and come back for another pot. And I think now he can pot and
51.
leave himself for an angle, stun across and go to the other side and leave himself for an angle for a wide enough.
I agree with you on this. I think that's exactly what he was trying to view. Just see the amount of angle he needs to make that wide enough, and once he has that enough, it gives him the angle for the drop cannon,
54.
and he could come back on top table in no time.
Yes, again, leaving himself very rightly for the
56.
in-off of the white, and now controlling this white perfectly for the drop cannon. Again, the key to the shot is getting the right contact on the red, and I think he got it
58.
fuller than he intended it to, but no harm done. He still has a thin cannon or even a thicker cannon, which he played, and again he played it
60.
beautifully there. He gathered the 3 balls, and now again he just needs to pot and bring
62.
back the red higher than the white to tap it back behind the spot, and that's what he's done exactly.
Very rightly said, Nishad. He's now
65.
back on top table. I think Saurav, I wonder what's what's going through his mind, having missed that opportunity, and seeing the kind of flow and position that Pankaj is in.
68.
I'm sure he would always be thinking right now that the title this year seems to be in danger.
70.
Yes, very much so. And looking at the way Pankaj is playing and moving around the table, he seems very confident. And I'm sure Saurav must be just
73.
hoping for that odd lapse in concentration or an unforced error on Pankaj's behalf, because the way he's playing and controlling the balls at the moment, it doesn't look like he'll miss. And
76.
with that, Pankaj approaching a break of 80, and he's going to get the balk line warning.
78.
That is another area where this could go wrong for Pankaj, and Saurav probably clinging onto that last hope.
So, talking about crossing the balk line, I think Pankaj's approach now,
80.
or style
Balk line
of
warning.
approaching the balk line would be the conventional 2 pots, and coming to the center for crossing the balk, purely because he'd want to be in control, nothing else. I think he would just want to stay on the table, try and occupy as much time as possible, keep Saurav
83.
away from the table, and not allow him to come back. But this is something that I feel as a player. But again, Pankaj has his own style, and
86.
based on how he's really feeling his comfort, he's going to show us how he's going to cross
I
the
think
balk.
I think the way the scoreboard is right now, I think he's probably going to go for the 4 cushion shot, the conventional shot, because of how the white is placed.
89.
I think all he needs to do is play a pot and then leave himself high for the cannon, and then that would be his opportunity to cross the balk. But again, he's decided to do it off the spot, again catching us off guard, and I don't think he
92.
intended
Balk
to
line
get
cross.
the jaw of the
No,
top
he was
corner
actually
pocket.
trying to get to the left top cushion first, and then using the other 3 cannons and the other 3 cushions, and getting
94.
back into play. But I think he just over screwed that shot, resulting in getting into the jaws, but was lucky that he came out of it and he had the angle for the cannon. And
96.
Again,
I think he's recovered pretty well. He has that enough. He needs to play it with good speed, so that, because this ball, the red ball, needs to travel 4 cushions now and come back towards the white. On my part, beg your pardon, I think I just misjudged the angle on
99.
the red.
And again, now he's left himself on for a cannon from red to white. Again, the key here is controlling either the contact on the white or the speed of the object ball. And I think he's got a good contact on the white,
101.
leaving himself on for an in-off in the right-hand corner pocket. Again,
Just 45 points away from title now. I don't see this slipping away from Pankaj.
103.
I think he overran this in-off by a bit.
A tad harder than he would have liked.
And now
would now have to go for a cannon. What do you think, Nishad? Or do you
I
think
think
he'll go
he's-
for the in-off?
I think he's assessing the long enough. He's assessing all the shots, the Jenny, but I think he's going to go for the cannon of the cushion. This shot is a bit difficult. It could go wrong.
Very crucial, this one.
Yes. It's not easy to control the. Oh, that was played.
And with a little bit of
Nicely.
fortune, he does have a cannon as well, a follow cannon.
He played it in a very nice speed. If you see the shot, the white was on the path to disturb the red, but the yellow caught the red before.
That's
and
right.
107.
he was fortunate to leave himself on for a follow cannon, but now again he's forced to play a recovery shot.
Do you
not-
think he has the in-off in the center of the red? Or is it a forced one?
I think it's a forced one by the looks of his body language. I don't think it's easy. I think he was probably assessing to play safe with the white, but again he's probably forced to look at the forcing red and off in the center. I think probably owing to the situation, he probably doesn't want to give Saurav any more chances to come back on the table. But I think in the end he might be forced to play it the safe. And yes,
Saurav is now getting a
Pankaj,
chance to come back on the
107.
table. Something which I think he may not have thought of a couple of minutes back. I think it's important that now he makes most of this. If he's going to play safe, it better be really tight.
yes, and again, Pankaj not leaving anything on.
But I think, Nishad, I would fancy going for this cannon. It's a one cushion cannon, maybe a two cushion. It's slightly easier, I believe. And not sure if Saurav has made up his mind.
Yeah, I think the shot that
And
you
not
called,
so.
the one cushion cannon of the red or even two cushions, is on, definitely on. But the problem with the shot is you'll have to play it with a harder speed, and if you miss it, you don't know where the balls are heading. And I think that's the risk that Saurav is assessing at the moment. But I believe probably.
He's a little fickle-minded right now.
Yeah.
But I think he seems to have made up his mind and is playing safe.
The only problem playing the safe is should not leave the red ball on.
In such a situation, would you go for a double red in the center? Or would you again try and just play safe? Because playing safe right now is pretty easy. You can just play it thin and you can just let both the balls, the red and the yellow, get towards the cushion.
I think he's playing. I would play safe, but
He's gone for the...
enough in the center.
enough.
But I think he played that shot with a percentage. I think he knew he played it at such a speed. If he missed it, he was not leaving an easy opening for Saurav. So I think that's the reason he attempted the in-off.
Seems that Saurav is going to go for the yellow in-off from where he is, and he's just trying to assess his next shot because he knows that the yellow is not going to come out after the in-off. So he's just checking if he has a shot on the red. It's a difficult one, this. He has to hit it thin and fast.
Foul.
And
Pankaj.
he
Two.
commits a foul there
I think
by
that,
not touching the opponent's ball at all.
and I think this could really be curtains for Saurav in this final.
I think so too. With just 39 points away from title.
And Pankaj now asking the referee to clean all the balls. He recognizes that this is his opportunity to close the door on Saurav's
Very
scope
much,
for
very
the
much,
national
Nishad.
title. and just taking his time, recomposing himself, and asking for the position. And with a mere 39 points to go, Pankaj is definitely in the driving seat.
This is one of the most standard shots of billiards, which is half ball, and very
Two.
very unlikely, or rather
I think Pankaj,
surprising to see Pankaj hit that shot with such less strength.
Yes, I think he got a heavier contact on the white, and I don't think he played it to perfection. He's forced to play the long Jenny now.
And actually
And
well
yeah,
played.
playing it really well.
He's left himself with a white and off, which he would go for.
4.
And this will be an interesting shot because most of the players, they play with so much side, they try and get the ball to the other side of the red without connecting with it. But I don't think he needs that here right now. He had to. He needed that white to miss the red, but he does have both
6.
the in-offs, the red as well as the white.
Yeah, I think he played it with such a strength that even if the white was hitting the red, he was bound to leave at least one ball on. And in this case, it worked out really well for him. Both the balls were on, and yeah, now again Pankaj is in very much pole
9.
position to finish the final in this frame.
That's right. Going for the cannon now, slightly wider with a little bit of side. I think that'll just ensure that he's getting the red towards the pocket, which
And
he has.
again, fabulous contact on the red, judging it to perfection, leaving it bang on the pocket for a pot. Again, now he's come back to the same side because I believe the white was hampering the red
40.
for a pot. He would have liked the yellow to roll a bit more, but I think he still has two options. He can either play a red pot to the left hand corner, or he could play a run through in off of the white.
Or he could also think of the cannon.
That's
I think
right.
He's trying to. I think he should now rely on his snooker skills. Pot the white. He is just 23 points away. With this white pot being pot,
16.
he's now 21 points away, and he needs 7 pots or in-offs of the red
Yes.
to give him the title. So I think a little snooker skill would be good for him.
Definitely, and I think that's what he's
19.
exactly done. You've called it right. He's potted his white, and he needs another 17 points. And Pankaj, with his snooker talent, can absolutely finish the frame in this visit by just potting these
22.
balls.
Very much so. I think he doesn't have the angle to come back down, but he's left himself for an in-off in the top pocket with a little bit of left side and a little faster.
25.
I think the red can go in out of the balk, and this is going to be a crucial shot. It needs to actually stop
28.
towards the center, which it has, and a couple of in-offs, and I think we have a new champion.
Yes, very much so, and I don't see Pankaj missing from here at all. All he needs is another 9 points, so 3
31.
shots. 2 shots actually, sorry. He just needs 6 points. So he can either play an in-off in the center pocket, which he's doing, and bring it back for another center in-off for a pot.
That's
and
right.
that's it, and that's the title.
He's left it there very smartly for another in-off, the long in-off,
34.
and we have the return of the champion.
Yes, very much so. And
37
there it is.
game.
With that, he's won the
Match.
match.
Pankaj.
A big congratulations to yet another national title for
Of course.
the prodigious Pankaj Advani, and
Correct.
a huge
Thank you.
congratulations to Saurav as well for making the final. Unfortunately,
course,
it was
it's,
not his day.
Somebody has to win, and we can only have one champion, and that is Pankaj Advani today. Once again, we'd like to thank all our sponsors, Manisha Constructions, Vascon Engineering, water, our water supporters, our venue partners, PYC and the Pune Club, the Federation, Billiards and Snooker Federation of India for their support, and the committee members of PYC, and
Yes, thanks Rishabh, and congratulations to Pankaj and also to Saurav and everyone else who's participated in the tournament. Thanks to PYC and all our sponsors and all the officials and all the referees and all the organizers. We were glad to bring you the coverage for the finals, and me and Rishabh, thanks for joining for me, Nishad and Rishabh, to listen to our commentary and watch this telecast, and I'm sure we'll be back for snooker coverage in days to come.
signing off for now, and we shall see you soon again. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Life is all about a new start every day. A new step towards progress. To become what we imagined. And to make the dreams a reality. Now, it's time to begin with a new address of life and become a proud owner of a modern lifestyle. A landmark development in the growing eastern part of Pune that promises swift access to Kharadi, Viman Nagar, Pune Airport, Magarpatta City and Kalyani Nagar. You also stay at your comfort with all day-to-day conveniences like major hospitals, schools, petrol pumps and banks close to your home. What adds to your advantage are the proposed developments such as the under-construction 6-lane Nagar Road linking Wagholi to Eon IT Park, proposed ring road from Ambegaon to Wagholi, proposed 4-lane flyover linking Wagholi to Shikrapur, and proposed 36-meter wide DP road which offers growth and a bright future. Welcome to Citron Phase 2 at Wagholi. 1 and 2 BHK apartments. Experience a fine mix of lifestyle, space, comfort and quality with your home. Part of the Citron Phase 1, a happy community of 130 plus happy families. The project offers ready infrastructure and amenities. Spread over 5 acres, 15-story L-shaped towers offer 1 and 2 BHK apartments and wide open spaces. Homes that not just take care of functionality but also offer vibrancy peace and freshness in living. Your life here is imagined through a fine mix of lifestyle features like ready clubhouse, swimming pool, modern gymnasium, multi-purpose court, senior citizen sit-outs, children's play area and community hall. It's a world that promises more than you ever imagined. Growing in parallel to the recent developments, celebrates the modernity of future and the happiness of a perfect opportunity. An address to begin your journey towards fulfillment and become part of a success story. A joint development by Manisha Constructions and Vascon.